Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love this song, dude. Alright, Mike, we're live. Let's just do it.
Alright.
We're here. I'm turning the volume down. And we're just gonna do this. Alright. Hey, everybody. Wait, see if we can get these faces moving. Mine's moving. Is yours moving? Yeah. Oh, why is Siri talking? Siri, don't talk. No. I love episode ones. They're the best. They're the freaking best.
Start over.
Let's start. You want to start over? You don't want to do it live?
I'll just redraw the thing.
Okay, just draw everything again. Let's start it again. All right.
Completely botched.
You know what? Let's just cancel the whole thing. I'm just gonna delete my.
This was a gag, you guys.
Yeah, we got it. We got him.
Yep.
All right. Anyways, welcome to the what is this called again? The Nowhere to Go podcast.
Yeah.
You're here, right? Because there's nowhere else to go. Siri, you need to stop this.
Nowhere else to go.
God, Siri really wants to be here, though. I need that
Siri?
It's just answering everything. I don't know. Stop. Maybe it's the music.
Siri's not coming through your mic, though.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good. I like having an AI whispering in my ear the whole time. It's very, just asking me if it can do me favors. Yeah.
But yes, the Nowhere to Go podcast.
That's it. This is where we are.
You've seen it all, and now you're here, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is a mistake. But we can do this together. Yep. We can get through it.
You did this to yourself, honestly.
Yeah, let's be real.
The viewers, not us. It's not our fault.
It's definitely not our fault. It's your fault. Let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we can all come together and be lost together. My name's Oliver.
Because there's nowhere else to go.
There's nowhere else to go. I'm Oliver. Look at this dude. V-Star.
I'm Mike.
Anyways, he's Mike. I'm Oliver. We decided we were going to do this podcast, 7 days ago?
Yeah, we were just talking.
Yeah, we were just talking, and we thought, hey, people might like this.
Yeah. Also, just to gather thoughts on things we like. Oliver, you're interested in writing... doing some journalism for video games. This could help you gather those thoughts, put them into writing and everything like that. And I also just enjoy talking about that stuff too. So,
yeah, I would say the type of conversations we have personally on we have a Discord channel. We have a few people there that hang out with us, but you're a nocturnal beast, and I live in Japan, so
I'm in the States.
Yeah, so we live on opposite ends of the world, but yet we have great conversations when nobody's around, and they're great and exhausting. Like I come out tired from just laughing and yelling and being upset at the world, and after that I'm like I need a nap because I get tuckered out.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought
good times.
Yeah, it's always good times. So I thought, let's just share it with everybody else and see if anybody wants to enjoy it with us. But Mike, tell us something about yourself. Tell the people.
Nah.
Okay. Well, the podcast is over, guys. Where's our outro music? Outro.
I'm just an artist, man. That's all I do.
That's fair. That's bullshit. Yep. Mike is a great artist. He's not just a regular. He's a really good artist.
Oh, so sweet.
Our talking faces come directly from his hand. He's in a way, he's sculpting the void. Let's just put it out there.
I put that much thought into it.
Yeah. I think what you're trying to say is I have a very basic ass face. You're just this is the easiest thing to draw. This is no problem.
It's easy as fuck, dog. It's easy money.
Easy.
But I'm not getting paid.
I'll pay you an exposure. Look, this is Mike.
There
exposed.
You go. Yeah. All right. Yep. I feel it. I feel very exposed.
Do you feel the sunshine?
Yep.
So let's see. Yeah. What else, Mike? Yeah, you're just an artist and you like games, right? I guess that's it.
Like games, good hobby when I can play it.
Yeah.
When I can play them games, but I have been finding some time to play a lot of different games lately, so get to talk about that soon, hopefully.
Mike, give me like you said you had 7, but give me like 3 to 5 of like your favorite games.
I can list them quickly.
I mean, as quickly as you want. Like if you have something important to say about a game.
My first favorite game is Red Alert 2.
There you go.
Which is why I was saying the Hell March is perfect. But yeah, Red Alert 2, very, very special game.
Yeah.
Just awesome RTS with great humor interlaced in it. It's just Westwood Studios, legendary.
Yeah.
Always in my heart.
Was it Burger Kong is the best place to garrison, as far as I'm concerned.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
How could you?
That's right. Hey, man. Times are tough, you know.
Age.
Can't remember about Burger Kong all the time. Further down the list, I put Star Wars Galaxies. That was a big defining game for me. Growing up, that was a big thing on PC. Got to socialize with people online for the first time through that game. Battlefield 2 and 3, I'd say those are 2 of my favorite games ever. I love Battlefield. That's, again, just bonding with people online and getting to know a lot of people I still know to this day. I just still talk to them. Very, very good friends of mine. And moving on again. Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age Origins stole my college time completely.
Dude, I remember when you were like, I was on the Mass Effect train, and you were like, dude, stop. You need to be a dwarf or some shit. I was like, hold on, what are you talking about? And you're like, I beat the game with every character like twice. Like, what? What are you talking about?
I got every single achievement in that game on the Xbox 360. That was an endeavor for sure. I love the shit out of that game. And the thing is, even after playing the game that much, I still haven't seen everything in that game. That's how much shit is in that fucking game. It's insane. Every so often I hear about something, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is that? Oh my god. This game is so special. Moving on, Monster Hunter 3 to Iceborne. I would say those are my favorite Monster Hunter games.
Wait, from 3 to Iceborne? Like
3 to Iceborne, okay. So 4 generations,
World and Iceborne.
Just got better and better.
Yeah.
And then, Iceborne was good. I think I like Base World a little more, but yeah.
We'll get into it. Yeah. Don't worry, that's today.
We will.
Get ready, people.
And then I'll cut to my list one short here and just skip to the end. It's Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a favorite game of mine. Because, goddamn. That one hit the heartstrings in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's just a really good game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my list.
Yeah.
That's my favorites.
Okay. Very good. You're approved. I'll put the stamp and we'll let you through. You can sit at the door now.
I'm approved.
I'll put the gun away. I guess we don't need this anymore.
There's a gun?
You can't see it behind the laptop. But yeah, it's
oh my God,
it's small.
Please help.
It's of
I can't blink. I can't blink for help.
It's of the Austin Powers variety. You know what I mean? It's really
yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well,
what about your list?
Yeah. I have. I mean, all right. Before we continue, let's just say I think it's important that we say tier lists are kind of silly. Ordering things is weird. Even like rating things when like you see like I gave it a 5 out of fucking 4 or whatever. Like it's all silly. It's a dumb way to talk about art, frankly. And if we want to look at video games, in that way, then we need to like walk away from that. That being said, my favorite games are the best games, and I don't care what anybody else is saying. Like, that's 100%.
Everybody else is wrong.
That's right. You'll have to deal with it. Funny enough, though, the games that you mentioned, we have a lot of cross-pollination on it, but the ones that aren't on my list are probably the ones I just haven't played. I never played Galaxies, and I didn't play Dragon Age. So even though at your behest, I was just too wrapped up in whatever else. At some point, I see it all the time. Which one is it? Is it Origins or Inquisition? Which is the
Origins? I say is the best one.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the one.
Origins was the first. Then they did Dragon Age 2, and then Inquisition came out. 2 is good, but just not as good. And then Inquisition's kind of trash.
Damn. All right, hot take. Come on,
yeah.
Let me think.
Put them in quick.
Yeah. So just real quick, just right off the bat, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a super big game for me. It like woke me up to like geopolitical, historical, fanficky, like over the top James Bond. Like that game in my eyes it's almost perfect. It's so silly but so serious, and like the dude fires at Davy Crockett and says, "Remember the Alamo." Like it's ridiculous, but it's amazing. And it's like beautiful in some ways. Like there's so many parts of that game that there's so many systems that are like at play. It's just, I think it's the best of that like generation probably. It's just amazing. What else? Another favorite game of mine. Definitely gotta say Chrono Trigger is up there. It's probably near the top. It was the first game. It's one of the first games I played where you had kind of like multiple endings depending on your like decision making, and I thought that was super cool. But what really solidified that game for me was there's an opportunity for you to basically like recruit one of the bad guys, Magus, and I didn't know that. There's a fight, and they're like, "Are you gonna fight me or what?" And if you basically say like, "or what," then you can like, well, maybe we can be friends. But of course I did. I was like, I'm gonna mess you up, son. You cursed me into a frog. You're going out. And I killed him, and I beat the game, and my buddy was like, yeah, how'd you like playing as Magus? I'm like, excuse me? He's like, what? You didn't do it? What? And it just like, that game has like 13 different endings, and it's just great. It's great. Especially for a Super Nintendo game. Music is timeless, blah, 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 blah. We can go on. Let's see, what else? Favorite games of mine. All time. Wind Waker. Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh yeah,
timeless, great game. Beautiful.
You let me borrow your copy.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I played it, and I was like, God damn, dude.
Yeah, that game.
God damn, dude.
Like that game, like I don't know. It gives me the feels,
yeah, dude, it's full of it. It's full of feels.
Yeah, the look is timeless. I actually prefer the original to the remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean the remake is fine. It's a good game. Some of the quality of life stuff is okay, but like I just feel like it doesn't have like the way they do the lighting and the modeling is kind of different, and so it feels extra like shiny, and it doesn't have to.
Yeah, I feel you.
What else? Wind Waker. And I'll just throw in same. Yeah, definitely the same. Death Stranding. Death Stranding, I think, is probably the best game of the last generation, I would say. And
it's real good. I wanted to put Metal Gear 5 on my list, but like I don't know. It's just it's a really unfortunate case of just being an unfinished game.
Yeah, that and like I don't want to. I could just populate the list of Metal Gears. That's its own show, right? Like,
yeah.
But I think Death Stranding. Actually, I'll add another one to the list too. But Death Stranding, it gets a lot of weird flack for things that I just think like people weren't. I think you need to be a little bit more open to what the game was offering. And when I hear things like it's like a UPS simulator or a walking simulator, I want to shake people. Like, there's so much there. There's so much happening. It's not perfect by any means. There's a lot of problems I have with the game, especially with like progression and some of the pacing is weird. There's a lot of info dumps that are just in text, and it's just like that's in a game where I'm walking for long distances.
Yeah, I think I remember just talking to you about like some of the emails you get in the game and being like, "Did you know there's supposedly like some like kind of angel sighting over a city and shit?" And you're just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, dude, I don't know. It's like one of the first emails you get. It's like some fucker sees an angel flying over the city.
Yeah, I think it would have. It's one of the few cases I would make, and the same happened with my next game that I'm going to mention. But if there was like some kind of like companion app that just gave you the emails, right, or just like it just had all like a codex, that would have been way better than I think. Just like, hey, go sit in your room and read these. Like, ugh, I have places to go. Like, it's a long walk. These things are heavy. Put it on a podcast, you know?
Yeah, I think you could probably just do like an Alexa voice at that point, right?
Yeah,
just like
I mean,
have her read it off. Something.
And I know, there's like this weird. This is going to become the Death Stranding episode. I know there's like a weird like pushback against like audio logs because like BioShock basically did it to death. But like, if there was ever a case for an audio log, that was it, and it just didn't. You know, whatever.
Maybe in the sequel, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know anything about the sequel. It's so confusing.
We just don't.
Yeah,
that's the best thing.
It's better.
We don't know shit.
Yeah. And then the last game I'll have to say is, or collection of games would have to be the Mass Effect trilogy.
Nice.
Those games, like, it kind of just, like, sparked something in my brain. Like, I had just got a 360, friend, like, said, like, oh, I got this game, but I don't really like it. Didn't even give it to me in a box, just, like, take the disc, whatever. And I just threw in the first Mass Effect, and I was like, man, this game is wonky. God, this shooting is terrible. Like, I wasn't maybe informed enough or whatever, but I just didn't have enough experience to be like, oh, like, I was like, why is my shooting so bad? Oh, because you don't have, like, the right stats. I was like, what the hell? I'm pointing at it. Like, I can see the jellyfish. Why can't I shoot the jellyfish? But once you find, like, Harbinger, and, like, he speaks to you, and it just, like, becomes, like, the scale of all your problems becomes so enormous. Like, I just happened to be taking, like, my required astronomy or like science credit in university at the time, and I was just like, oh, the stars, it's expanding. Like, everything was just like clicking at the right time. I just got into Star Trek. Like, everything was just like, it was a perfect storm, and I was like, this is the perfect story. I am the shepherd. And it was just great. Yeah, so that I think that's a good probably round off of who I am.
Yeah, it's great. Great list.
But yeah, we're only telling you guys this so that for posterity's sake, so you guys kind of understand where our what our likes are and what our biases are, I guess. So when we say something is good, you kind of have a baseline as to where we're coming from. But quick note, a little bit of housekeeping for those watching live on Twitch. First of all, thanks for watching. But you have the ability to ask questions. The name didn't change. It says tadpoles. This is a holdover. Ignore that. Use your channel points, and you can not use Siri. Use your channel points, and you can essentially ask questions that we will answer at the end of the show. If you're watching this on a VOD, you can't do that. So watch us live.
Yeah, we wanted to call it the Pondcast, but it just sounded fucking terrible.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say Pondcast. It's just it don't.
It's just not worth it, man. Just not worth it.
Just not. The cost is just too high.
Too high.
All right, cool. So let's get into, I guess, our main topic. The main topic of.
Yes.
Oh wait, I'm not playing any music. I said I was gonna play music. Whoops. Hold on.
Let's get the vibes going.
Get the vibes going. Hopefully it's not too loud. All right. Anyways, now we're vibing. I don't know if you can hear it, Mike.
I can't.
Okay, I'm vibing. Mike's just here for the ride.
I'll put it on my side.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So the main topic today, we're talking about Monster Hunter. We're talking about the meta, what the future is going to look like, or what we would like the future to look like, where we're at with Monster Hunter. Mike and I, we're big fans. I didn't put it on my list because we were just going to talk about it now.
Yeah, I think I can't remember. You can correct me, but I think I might have gotten you into it.
You got me back into it.
I think I was telling you about how good 4 was on the 3DS because I was playing that at the time, and I can't remember where it went from there.
So yeah, my history of Monster Hunter is that I got a PSP when I was in college, and I picked up Monster Hunter Portable or Freedom Unite 2, one of those.
Okay.
But it was like the first one. I think it was maybe the first one where you get like a power coat.
Okay.
One of the earlier ones.
Right.
And the reason I got it was because I heard like, oh, this game is a multiplayer game, but now that you have a Palico, it's a bit easier to do solo because I didn't know anybody else who had a PSP. And for me, that game is just like unknowable. Like I just could not figure out what the hell I was doing.
Deep dive.
Oh, it was so.
And it doesn't tell you shit.
It doesn't tell you shit, and I just didn't like the internet wasn't what it is now. It wasn't like the sprawling database. Like it was still kind of everybody was still kind of organizing. Like Wikipedia was just a thing, right? Like we were still being told, don't go to Wikipedia. It's not worth it. Where now it's like it's the only reliable source, right? But I fell off because it's just like I don't really I get what's cool about it, but I just couldn't be successful, and it's just like and I was in college. I had like 2 jobs and school full time.
No time to learn that.
Yeah, I was just like
it's basically another job.
Yeah, I was like, just give me Daxter, and I'll go.
There you go.
Like, we're good. I just want to hop around, collect some shit while I fall asleep. That's what I spent $200 for. I needed I needed a lullaby. So that was it. Yeah, but then I years later I go to Japan. I come back to the States, and I got a 3DS. And then you were like, "Oh, you got to play Monster Hunter." And I was like, "I remember this, but I remember it being really tough." And you were like, "I'll play with you online." I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't even know like the.
I think it might have been Generations then.
No, I have 4. We started with 4.
You did, okay.
Yeah, I still have the card.
I don't know if we got to co-oping much because I don't think it did much online before.
4 we did a little bit of co-oping.
I think it was maybe a couple hunts. Yeah.
Yeah, but Generations where we really like started.
Yeah,
like
that was deep in online.
I fucking love Generations. It's so good.
Aerial style, man. And I think that'll make anyone a fan of Monster Hunter. Like you're just like, oh fuck!
It's just so fun. It's like
because Monster Hunter is just so animation bound, and just like you really have to learn it, right? You really have to get used to it, especially older Monster Hunters. Yeah, not so much as the newer ones, which is a good and a bad thing, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But like, just like Generations just had so much fun.
Yeah, it was like Generations. Well, first off, it's always nice, like when you get something new-ish. It's always nice to have a greatest hits, right? Like when you get into a new band, you go for the greatest hits first, and then you go deeper, right? And so it's kind of cool to like just go from like place to place, like all the different locations, see all these different characters, and like get these like missions and stuff, and just reading like these silly descriptions about like what you got to do and why you're doing it. That was cool, but there was something about like, especially Generations, with all the styles and stuff, that it felt very malleable to your playstyle and to your weapon style. But like, it didn't. I don't know if it really clicked for me until maybe I played World. That like knowing your weapon is like maybe more important than knowing the monsters. Right?
Yeah,
so, like,
for sure. Knowing how to do combos and apply that knowledge together with knowing the monster.
Right, like,
and learning that boss fight, basically. Right?
Yeah, and knowing like the spacing, the timing, the reach. Like the reach can change depending on the weapon.
Right. Exactly.
And like, and that's really cool. And I think that's kind of the strength of the multiplayer, is that like, people, if you master your weapon, you're basically mastering a role in the hunt, right? So if you're running around with a hammer, boy, you better be in the front of that mountain. You better be in its face, because that's where you need to be. You need to be in its face, just whacking it, hit it as hard as you can. But at the same time, like, I personally, like, I was messing around with hammer not so long ago in Generations Ultimate. I don't play hammer; it's just not my thing, right? But I am well, I don't know what the word is, but I am more. I lean towards having a block. I think it's really important to me whenever I play any kind of game. Like I'm like I need to be able to make a quick. If I need to make a quick adjustment, I never trust the animation cycle of a dodge. I always trust I can press a button quickly and I'll clam up and I'll take the hit, then I'm good. and I adjust my whole playstyle to that, right? So I'm always making sure I have enough stamina. I'm always making sure I have enough health to take the hits, but I'll take the hit, right? Because it's better than getting like whacked, rolled, sent to another area. Just like Jesus Christ, like it's that to me is like way more stressful. But since I was trying out new weapons, I was like, you know what? Let me try the hammer. Let me give it a shot. The hammer for me is only doable in aerial mode. Aerial style is the only way to do this shit because I want to step on the monster's face, whack him twice in the air, and be able to roll out of the way quickly, right? Like that to me is like, it's beautiful.
That's kind of how dual blades are for me. I like dual blades still, like in the newer Monster Hunters, but like man, it was just too good with aerial style.
Yeah, it
was just so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of what makes Monster Hunter really, what is it? Not addictive, but really, what keeps me there is that it's not just a mastery of the game; it's a mastery of my own play style and like knowing how to make the adjustments. Like the older games, like knowing the environment is actually like beneficial. Like knowing where the ledge is so I can make the leap, right? Where do I not want to be cornered with this guy? Like the size of the monster compared to the area that I'm in. Like maybe I don't want to be here. Maybe I need to get him out of here, right? There's so many like factors that like there's that side of it, like knowing how you're gonna play and your style and what works for you and what your role is. But there's also like the preparation for that is just as fun, right? Going out, gathering. Making sure you have all the materials you need, hunting other monsters to prepare for, the bigger dude is always a lot of fun. That loop, I guess, is just like super rewarding, like personally, right? But yeah, as we
because it is a linear path as far as like difficulty progression, but the way you get there is non-linear.
Correct.
The way you want to move through the game is completely up to you and how you want to progress and do things. And there are easier ways and there are harder ways. And getting more familiar with all the systems is just going to make it more easier on you. And just learning how a monster reacts to certain traps.
Right.
And Rathalos. What's the solution for Rathalos? Bring flash bombs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Especially, not so much now, but older Monster Hunters, if Rathalos is up there in the sky, you just flash them.
Everybody knew it
drops real quick.
Yeah. Like, there'd be too many flash bombs. Like, slow down. Don't use them all.
But it's not so much as like, okay, I'm going to go to the store and go buy some traps and flash bombs. No, you have to figure out how to get those things, make them yourself, prepare for a hunt, and you do it. So it's just it just feels really good.
So I remember when we had a big talk, big like 6-hour long talk about Monster Hunter years ago before World came out, and we were like, basically what we're doing now, what would we want in the future? And I was saying like I hope that there's more. They lean more into like the hunting part of the hunt, like the tracking and like it'd be cool if there were like single environments that seamless transitions, and like you actually have to track the monsters, and just having like more things you can do on the side. So it's not just solely that same loop, but maybe add a little something like contributing more to the cooking aspect, or contributing more to the like unlocking things in different ways, either through gathering or melding or whatever, right? And then we got that. We got that exactly with the fucking World, and I couldn't believe how like World is just so good. Like it's not like, honestly, I'm not a guy who gives a shit about graphics. Like I don't care about fidelity. Like there's like an extent to where, I mean, I'm playing Project Zomboid. It's a PS1 It's The Sims, like the first.
It looks like The Sims, yeah.
I don't care about that.
When I showed that to some friends, he's like, "Oh, are you playing The Sims right now?" I was like, no. This is a game I want you to play. No, oh. Oh no, he's calling it The Sims 1.
Jeez. Yeah. Well,
the first game.
Yeah, so like that that part of it never really interested me, but like the world is so, it's like pure. It's got this like I picked it up and my main is basically Sword and Shield, and it was like nothing had ever changed, right? Which is what you want, right? What you want is like to adjust your skills to a newer environment. To the challenges should be on the outside if you've already mastered the inside, essentially, right? So I got the weapon, I know what I need to do, and the gathering is better. The tracking actually exists. I don't have to carry around a paint bomb. They did some quality.
The slinger, dude.
The slinger.
So good.
A lot of complaining about the clutch claw, though, and
I personally am not a fan.
Okay,
of the clutch
I'll
claw.
fight you on the clutch claw. What's wrong with the clutch claw? Tell me. This is a nice
It's just it's a damage gate, and like this can easily go into our talk about meta.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Monster Hunter is the meta is always damage, right? You want to take advantage of a monster by doing as much damage as you can, as efficiently as you can, and getting the faster time so you can get more monster materials faster for the builds that you want to make more time efficiently, because the game is very grindy and it is all RNG based on how fast you can get a build done, and sometimes that can be really frustrating. So the way you want that to be easier on yourself is you want to make an efficient build so you can kill the monster faster, so you can grind those parts faster. So the Clutch Claw is a very unfortunate wrinkle in the damage meta, because it unlocks more damage potential, and it's a gimmick that's gated by a very short time window. Like, yes, you can technically not have to use it, but the way they balance some weapons in the game, some of the weapons you always have to use it to properly use those weapons. And for instance, those are the bow guns and bows. And if you're not using a heavy bow gun, you're stuck doing the double clutch claw maneuver just to break apart. If you're not hunting with people who can, because there was another wrinkle on it, is that light weapons had to do it twice, heavy weapons had a longer animation, but they only did it once to weaken a monster's part.
Right.
So it was every 60 seconds you have to latch on the monster, do the clutch claw thing, do the clutch claw boogaloo, and then go back right on to shooting them in the ass, shooting them in the head. It was just like over and over again.
Okay. Well,
it was just really, really unfortunate for those players. That includes me, because I love being a gunner, and especially the newer Monster Hunters.
Right. Well, here's your first mistake. Put the fucking gun down. What are you doing? What? You're playing the wrong game. I'm kidding. Gun is viable. I appreciate it when they show up, and I'm like, help! When I'm there with my sword and shield going, am I doing any damage? And then a gunner shows up, I'm like, what? Doesn't matter anymore. I guess I'm here to heal and flash bomb and add some statuses here. I can understand that. I think that's kind of a thing that, you're right. It's totally a meta problem, I think. And I think it's also, that's, deep, right? This is, the average player. I'm playing through Iceborne again now. I just got to, Safi Jiva. Okay. So I'm pretty far in, and honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to that. Usually what will end up happening is that when I need parts for a set I want to build, I'll just I just go farming. I just go hunting, and I'm not really. I'm focusing more on for me, I guess because I'm old. Don't waste the fucking time. You don't have a lot. There's not a lot of free time. If you're gonna give it to this, you better freaking win. So I'm just trying to focus on the win. But I can understand that frustration. I will say though, the Clutch Claw it's a problem. It's a problem with the meta, but it added something. It added more, I think, to the slinger aspect of things. That was pretty cool. Like,
it does feel like it completed the slinger, for sure.
Yeah. So like, there's a way you can get parts. You can get slinger ammo from the monster itself, which is great if you're like when I first started doing Sword and Shield stuff. In Iceborne, I relied a lot on using the slinger. I don't know if you know, they have like it has like an alternate shot in Sword and Shield. So using that, and then it jumps you right into that like Devil May Cry combo, like the timed hit. And I depended on that more because it was a faster way to get into that rather than like pull back and jump into it.
And it had a shit ton of iframes.
Yes, a shit ton of iframes. So it was a way to do it. And it was great to like be able like, but if I fought like in an arena, there was nowhere to get those, right? I'd have like a few stones and that'd be it. So for me, it was helpful in that way. I totally get it. Like the Monster Hunter games are not perfect, and they're not perfectly balanced. And they definitely skew, like you said, they skew towards, or actually the trend is, I feel, they're skewing more and more towards doing as much damage as possible. And it definitely, a gate, I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing when we now look to the future, or today, and we're looking at Rise and Sunbreak, and where that's going. So let's get into it about Rise, because we gotta deal with Rise.
Is it Rise and Sunbreak together then? No? Or
I mean, there's definitely which do you like better? Is that a weird thing to ask?
I think I like Rise more, but I do want to go back and give Sunbreak another shot because there's been a lot of balance changing, and they generally or seemingly made the monsters less dickish. So, which is something I think is fantastic. Because Sunbreak is pretty fucking brutal, especially if you just like. If you go in and you want to play a certain way, and you want to play the way you want to play, Sunbreak slaps you in the fucking face and says, "Nah, dude, you better learn how to play differently because this game is gonna fuck you hard, dude."
So okay, let me think. I think the things that Rise did are really interesting, as like a new game. But the things that Sunbreak did were less interesting as an add-on, if that makes sense.
Right. I agree with that.
And I almost feel the same way about Iceborne. Like the Clutch Claw is cool, but it wasn't like a huge thing. I was like, To me, what makes Iceborne is like the new monsters, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
The new monsters, and then fucking like Fatalis. Like the Fatalis comes back. It was like, holy shit! Like this is huge.
Yeah, huge.
And, like,
it was huge.
And the story, I kind of liked the. I don't know if I ever sent it to you. There's somebody. I wish I could give him credit now. I will later. There was a guy who did this review on like the themes of Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Iceborne, or World Iceborne, and how like World was all about like humans or the people trying to bring balance to nature, and which is essentially what Monster Hunter is. You're trying to find ecological balance, not letting things get out of whack. You are now the stewards of the world, and when things are weird, it's up to you to do it. And so you fight Xenogevia, this thing that's sucking up all this energy. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and it's driving the monsters crazy. And you gotta quell this. And when you do that, the whole time, like there's like this lore within the game about this thing called the Sapphire Star, and it's like the guiding principle of the hunters, right? But it turns out, I don't know if you noticed this, but the Sapphire Star is actually Xenogevia. Like, if you're able to cut the tail, you can see the symbol of the Sapphire Star within the tail, like in the nub.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like the bone is in the same shape. It's crazy. And it's super.
That's pretty wild.
But they never talk about it, so it's like there's a lot of these little nuggets in there. You gotta really get in there, and that's cool. Right. But then when you play Iceborne is the opposite. They start calling you the Sapphire Star, the hunter. Right. They're like, you're the guy. You're the one who's going to bring balance to everything. It's on you. You're the best one of us. And it turns out you weren't even necessary. Because at the end, who kills What's his name?
Uh,
Oh no, what's his name? He's the Buddha.
yeah.
Hold on, googling.
We'll get it.
Boss. Oh boy.
Secret monster.
Ishvalda.
Ashara
So
right.
it's
Such
not
a
you.
great monster, by the way.
It's the coolest. I think probably the coolest in that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't kill him. Nergigante does. Right? And he shows up, and he's the balance. Nature is its own balance.
Can we talk about that cutscene just for a second? Because
yes, please.
when I was fighting Shar Ishvalda for the first time, it was like 2 a.m. At night on my PS4. I'm playing this shit and doing solo. Did a random join just to fight and beat the monster.
Yeah.
When I saw that cutscene, because just a little quick tidbit, bias-wise, Nergigante is my favorite monster. Yeah. All right. He's purely based on his fucking design, and his story is so fucking cool. And this motherfucker just flies in and tackles this huge fucker and just breaks his fucking neck and roars at you and flies away. It's like, oh my god!
Yeah, like
I fucking got up. It's like, oh my god, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Just caught fire. Yeah, that scene is amazing. Like you
so
go through these layers of battle, right? You fight you ruin a Nergigante, and then it throws you into this. You're fighting like a golem, essentially, this giant thing.
Right.
And then he erupts, and you're just like, "What the fuck is that? It's the most grotesque thing I've seen in Monster Hunter."
It's so cool. It's so fucking cool.
Fingers and whatever. Also,
great details where like his eyes are following the camera.
Right. Yeah. So it's
when he part of the fight, because he starts the fight, his eyes aren't open, but when he gets to 50%, his eyes open, and then he looks at the player.
Yeah. So he's looking beyond your avatar. He's looking directly at the camera, and his eyes are tracking the camera, not the player, and it's really unsettling. But then when you think about like the armor you get from fighting him. Like it's Buddha. They're like warrior Buddhas, and I'm like, dude, this thing is enlightenment. Like it's trying to, it's basically like one with the planet, right? And it's just it's doing this like cosmic thing, and it's like I can see through this nonsense. Like I know what's going on. It's like, God, get out of here! Don't break this wall, please. But yeah, so you defeat him, and then all the main characters show up. You're like, yeah, we did it! And Wolverine has the coolest like, all right, we're the best. And then out of nowhere, he shows back up, and everyone's like, uh-oh. And for like a half second, like a fool, I was like, are we gonna have like an 8v1? Because that would be fantastic. And then we don't.
Right.
But then a cooler thing happens. Nergigante shows up, breaks his neck in one hit, and then leaves. And you're like, oh.
God.
And then everyone's like, and then you have a party, and everyone's like, I guess we didn't really have to do much. And it's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have murdered all those monsters.
And they had to be put down.
They had to be put down. You have to
endangering the entire.
Right. So I don't know how we got on this tangent, but the monsters in Iceborne are really cool, and I think that's really the highlight of that game. In Sunbreak, the highlight ended up being, I think, more about like the new, what are they called? The bugs, water bug moves and stuff.
Yeah.
That was kind of like seemed like the focus.
Right.
But as far as Rise goes, I was delighted in a way that Rise felt a lot like 4 or Generations in the way that it very much felt like a portable game. Right. Everything was very condensed.
Right. Right, the maps definitely feel way more like the older gen than Iceborne or World.
Yeah.
The fighting areas are flat for the most part, and the arenas are more established as far as like what is an arena fight in.
Yeah.
Whereas World kind of diluted the pool a bit. Like there's a lot of slopes, a lot of ledges, just things to disrupt the hunter and the monster, all these things.
Yeah.
Which it's a mixed topic as far as how it was received. Yeah. So
I think then and there's the verticality thing because now you got the wire bug, and I thought the wire bug was cool. I like that it added it gave you reason to explore, or give you a way to explore the areas a little more, which is kind of cool. I'm still not really a fan of the spirit bugs or spirit birds thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a botch mechanic in my opinion.
Yeah, so before we would just eat food, and then depending on
you gain buffs, right?
Yeah, you gain buffs, and depending on your decorations, you also gain buffs that way. So your armor and your food, basically preparation is what gave you these buffs in health or stamina or defense or whatever.
Right.
Now it's just kind of like it's not significant, but it's just there's a portion of the hunt where you're just like you're running a route, and it gets a little rote, I guess. Like it's not as dynamic as I'd want it to be, considering that like I have this full freedom to go around the whole map now, vertically or horizontally, but I'm going to the same places because I just want the same bugs so I can buff up my health because I can't get my health to max otherwise.
Yeah,
so
a lot of time I'd never really paid any mind to those things.
Really, you didn't do it?
No, I mean I tried sometimes. Like, yeah, you're going a certain way, you might as well follow this little breadcrumb trail of buffs. But it's like it was always, even when they were talking about it, I was like, that's really how you're supposed to do it. Like that just doesn't vibe with how I'm familiar with moving through Monster Hunter maps.
Yeah,
so
same, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I changed my playstyle to try to accommodate the game, and I kind of didn't like that too much. Monster designs are pretty cool in Rise. I like a lot of the newer ones.
Yep.
I like the kind of yokai theme. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of Japanese yokai influence, which is really cool. It would have been nice to see them really double down for it, but I'm happy with what we got.
Yeah, I feel like there could have been more.
For sure.
Like, this is really only like a handful. But overall, I mean, it was fine. The hunts were fun. The wire bug stuff was cool. I mostly just used it for recovery, honestly. Like, I didn't use like the moves and stuff. Like, it was just the game became very snappy and became very fast, much faster than before. But the hunts never felt faster. I just felt like I was zipping around more and more. Yeah,
I love Bo. Absolutely adore Bo in Rise.
Bo is really fun in Rise, for sure.
Bo, like, because it basically combines like aerial combos into it.
Right.
And it just goes back to talking about how aerial style is like the greatest
style.
Fucking
it's
thing
the
in Monster Hunter.
Fucking style. But at the same time, like, it's okay. We'll jump back to Generations Ultimate really quick. One of the things that's really difficult for me is that, like, when I play a weapon that doesn't have a block, I want to, I'm worried about the dodge, right? Because like I tend to dodge into the monster, or like I misread like how many hits are coming, and so like I don't know, getting juggled or something. But I want to use aerial style because you get the most hits, and a lot of those weapons where you don't have a block, like say like longsword or a greatsword, you don't. You like the trade-off is you can make a lot of damage, right? You can do a lot of damage to them. So like I want to use aerial style so I can like just keep the ball rolling, right? Just keep the damage coming. But at the same time, it's almost better to have the adept style because when I dodge, it's like it's the longest iframe ever. It's just I'm just freaking invincible. You might as well just walk right through me. It doesn't matter. So it's like it makes it way worth it in that sense. Game's great.
And that's what they did do. They did that with Sunbreak as well. They basically gave every weapon an adept style type of counter.
Yeah.
But it was a little tighter. It was a lot. In fact, it was a lot tighter of a use window, right? Where you had to use it right as you were being attacked.
Yeah, Generations.
Sunbreak.
Oh, in Sunbreak, you think it was?
Yeah. Sunbreak's pretty brutal with those windows.
Yeah, I don't. Well, so the thing is with. Oh, one last thing before we move on from Rise. I just want to say the rampages I thought were freaking awesome, and I hate that they ignored it. Like
apparently just nobody in Japan liked it, I guess, or something like that.
Which is just crazy.
I don't know. It was just
so much fun.
It was so much fun, yeah.
And I was hoping they'd start doing. This is kind of the thing I was talking about, where they give you like alternate ways to like engage with the world and get rewarded for it. Like man, I was having a lot of trouble with like Zinogre, but there I go with the rampage, and I get parts from it to help me kind of like babysit my way into getting the right armor and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot you can get from it, and it's super fun to just get like uber buffed and just start whacking the hell out of them,
right.
and see the numbers just fly.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a very, very active, reactive game mode where it's just like you're always moving, going, doing stuff, fighting monsters, all these different things flooding in and shit.
And like having
doing all sorts of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
But also like that part of the game had like the preparation mechanic that I was like missing in Rise. That I really never had to gather. I just didn't. It just never happened. I just pick up things as I walked. And it didn't really matter. And it especially didn't matter because my health and I was just being augmented by the stage itself. So I just didn't. There was no real reason to do much. But yeah, so that's gone in Sunbreak. But really quick, what weapon would you say you main? I think it's kind of important. Or generally. Just
as in general?
Yeah.
I change a lot depending on the generation. Personally, like I started with Longsword and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. That was my first
Monster. What a weeb. Unbelievable.
Hey man, alright, let me tell you this. This could branch into another thing later on, but like I was a fan of 40k at the time. I liked chainsaw swords. I saw Monster Hunter 3 had a chainsaw sword, and I was like, I'm gonna play that. That's fucking cool as shit. So I worked my way, and I got myself a chainsaw sword. And then I had to learn about elemental weaknesses, because fuck, that shit was only thunder damage, and I got my ass kicked. So...
I hear that. Yeah, what was the weapon that I picked up just because of the cool like layered weapon? Oh no, it was I played a bit. I spent a good amount of time in Rise playing a switch axe because I had the origami.
That's
I was
great.
Like, this is the coolest thing ever.
So fun, yeah. Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, Switch Axe was fantastic. Like each generation, it really becomes. For me, is about like what's the most fun to play at the time.
Yeah.
And as I move along in each gen, I just find something that really fits. Like it really clicks with me. I don't really stick with the static weapon type from gen to gen. Personally, I've played every weapon in the game. I've had fun with it. I've played them some more than others.
So for Sunbreak, what were you leaning towards the most?
Sunbreak, that because the game became more frustrating based on how much damage monsters did, and in Rise, I really loved the bow. Like I adored the bow, and I really wanted to make bow work in Sunbreak, but it just wasn't because the way I could play bow in Rise was just sliding and jumping. But the monster's track radius was so ridiculous that they didn't let you do that anymore.
Right.
Like if you did the aerial style with bow, they would just wait for you to stop being in the air, and then they'd just slap you and you'd die in one hit. Because fuck you, you're a gunner, I guess. And gunners just don't have as much protection as the Blade Masters.
You have all the protection. You have range. What are you talking
about? Not anymore in Sunbreak, buddy. They just say, fuck you, you're dead. And sliding is just like the monster's track rate was just ridiculous. They always just turn straight into you, hit you, and it wouldn't matter. So that playstyle was completely out the window for me. So I just went back into, alright, what's gonna get me killing these things fast enough so I can just actually start experimenting with different builds and stuff. So I went back to light bowgun. Got the flagship monsters. What's his name? Malzeno?
Malzeno. Yeah, for Sunbreak, Malzeno.
Yeah, I got his gun, which is really good, just as a Pierce gun.
Yeah.
Because became a thing about Pierce meta was ridiculous. It just did a lot of damage, and there was really no reason to do elemental damage. It was just kind of a real big fucking shame. Yeah. Because that's one of my favorite things about doing a lot of builds in Monster Hunter is doing elemental builds and finding weapons that really exploit like elemental damage.
Yeah.
And just building a set for each element type. It's just so much fun. I started doing that in Generations, and that was just something I did in World, Iceborne. I just absolutely loved doing that. But like getting into, I even did it in Rise with bow. Like I had an element for every bow that was vital. But in Sunbreak, it just became like, all right, raw damage is king.
Yeah.
I'm not the carrot anymore. Just fucking stack damage on top of damage, and just that's it. That's all you gotta do. But like I also got fucked pretty hard by RNG and Sunbreak, which did hamper my enjoyment of that game a lot.
Because that's the whole thing. Wait, don't get there yet, because we got to talk about it. That's like that is kind of the crux of it all.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say. I was hearing, so I'm a Sword and Shield main. I usually start every game Sword and Shield, and I'll kind of lean towards something else just to kind of experiment. But I was hearing so much. I kept hearing that the Lance was getting shafted in Sunbreak pre-launch, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone was saying, Erex was saying that. Was it a Team Dark Side or whatever they're called? They were talking. Everybody was saying, "Hey, Lance is just being totally ignored. They have the worst new moves, blah blah blah." And I was like, "I've never played Lance. Let me see what this is." And then my eyes were open to the truth, Mike. The Lance is the greatest weapon in this game. You can take every hit and just push through them. Like, oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you're doing. You got a flame.
Big shield, doesn't care.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You have a fireball coming at me. Cool. Look at my pointy stick. It doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want to.
Yeah.
And so once you get the movement down and the little side hop and the poke, and you're just, it was just so much fun. So much fun to just running through attacks. It's been like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like do you know who I am? I'm the Sapphire Star. I don't know if you heard of me. I'm gonna ruin you. Oh, it's another good. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's me. I got this. I got the shield. It's the perfect paladin in all of gaming as far as I'm concerned.
It's a really, like, I would say Lance is like second to being second to the Great Sword and like iconic like symbolism for Monster Hunter.
Really?
Personally, I would say that because like you really don't see that in any other game where you just have a big fucking shield and a lance. Yeah. Like you don't see that really at all in any other game.
It's true. I have a thing for spear fighting in games, and it's just not a thing. It drives me crazy. Right. Like I can think of maybe 4 games that have them, and they don't feel the way they kind of should, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Besides Lance, like I can think of like a Spartan Total Warrior. You get a lance. You get a Achilles spear.
Spartan Total Warrior, man.
Yeah, the game's fucking great. But like there's not a lot of stabbing going on. It's a lot of just like I'm whipping around a broom. You get one in Ragnarok and God of War. And it feels cool, but it's just, I don't know. It's just,
not the same.
It's not the same. You need a shield. You can't be a Spartan without a shield. Anyways.
Yeah.
Or like you have to use them in tandem, in my opinion. But who am I? I'm not a Spartan. But yeah, in this game, it was so good. And then I expanded a little bit further out because I was watching. What I did like about Sunbreak is that it gave you alternatives to a lot of the weapons and the way you play them. So with Lance, I kind of have, you have your red scroll and your blue scroll to switch between styles. I basically had it like my long range and my up in your face scrolls, right? So when I'm in there, I change scrolls, and my attacks are much more concerned with like pushing through and taking damage real close. And then the other scrolls, like the long Lance run, where you build up speed and you kind of do damage like long ways and all that.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
But what really opened my eyes to what was the funnest thing. I love the Lance now. I'm basically maining it all through Iceborne now. But it was the Great Sword. Using the Great Sword with like that the problem with the greatsword is that I'm always gonna miss, right? Like it's the whiff machine.
The biggest blue ball weapon in the game.
Bro, it is horrible. How often I'm just like, and it walked away. It just took one step, and I just lost 10 seconds of my life. Like I just smacked the floor. The floor took 500 damage. Thanks, floor. I just killed this. A bug just exploded somewhere, like 30 feet underground. Like, where did all this energy come from? Yeah, but now you get this style where it's much faster. You don't do half as much damage, but you're just kind of just whipping the sword around in a way. It's very Cloud Strifey, and I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere, and super fun. The whiffing doesn't feel as bad because the recovery time isn't 3 years. It's just like I'll just lean this into it. The animations are great. There's a lot of like stab down, kick the sword back over you, like momentum based. Hey, there's no sneezing in this house. I'm kidding. Producer sneezing. That's really fun.
I didn't even hear it. Her mic didn't pick it up.
She's really good at hiding her sneezes. And just having this kind of like you move the sword back, but you don't. It doesn't feel disjointed anymore. All the movements feel like they're flowing into each other, and they look great. They don't do as much damage, but it's cool. That part's really fun. But I think the big criticism, I think there's two big criticisms for Sunbreak. One is, and it's probably for Rise too, but I think more so in Sunbreak, is that for me, it's that your role doesn't matter anymore. Like it's just not important. Whatever weapon you're playing with, whatever weapon you're using, you don't have to master it. You just gotta get in there. You just gotta get in there, poke, hit, and just heal. And it's very like it's every weapon now feels like a baseball bat. Like I'm not really concerned about where I'm positioned. You're just trying to damage. Or before, like I was saying earlier, if you're rocking that hammer, you need to be in its face, right? If you're good with a long sword, you're behind the monster. You're getting that tail. You don't need to be up front. You know what I mean? Your sword.
Well, with the weapon's hitboxes, depending on the monster, you could be anywhere and you hit the entire monster.
It is the lance, right? It's the longest friggin'. Anyways, right. There's that. Like knowing your role to have a successful hunt is just not necessary anymore. So like the first time I fought one of the newer ones, I forgot what it's called. It's like the Moonlight Nargacuga or whatever, the one that turned invisible. Which also what the fuck? I'm sorry.
Nature is weird, right?
Too weird. I think we're kind of like that's a huge leap. No.
Yeah.
No. It's just like, hey, you know what? Fucking Harry Potter. Like, what?
I mean, if you put the armor on, you should go invisible, right? But no.
Weird,
pretty rad, honestly.
It doesn't work with me. It only works with anyways. It just turns invisible when it's incredibly convenient. But like fighting him, I didn't have to really adjust to anything he brought to the table. It was just like, just look for the eyes. Like, oh, well, that's not that hard. Just turn your camera. It was basically it. Just turn the camera quickly. Okay, cool. There it is. But, like, as a sword and shield player or as a lance player, I tend to clam up, getting close, and then open up, right? It's a lot of, like, tension release type gameplay. So I'm waiting for them to either come to me because I'm using different decorations to get them to aggress towards me because I can take the hits, and that's my role. But holy crap, it doesn't matter because everyone's just like a flight of shit. They're just flying on the dude. Doesn't matter where. Everyone's just smacking them. I'm just like, do I even need to be here? Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like the role of the hunter is no longer a role. It's just like, well, let's just go hit it. And while in essence, that was the case because that's how the goal is essentially to either kill or capture so you can get the parts, and the faster you do it, the better it is for everybody, blah, blah, blah. Totally understand that.
Yeah.
But before, the way to do that in a group setting was for people to know their roles, right? You wanted the hammer guy
work together.
Right. The hammer user needed to knock him down so that we can get the extra hits on him, and so that the long blade or the cutting blade users could then attack the tail at it in an easier place as fast as possible, right? You wanted your dual blades to be in the back, just whacking, getting those, stacking up
tail carves. Yeah.
And it was just, it doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
Like everybody's just got like 100, not 100, but everyone's got their moves that they're just like unloading. It's just like, I feel like everybody used to have a different kind of gun. Some of us were snipers, some of us had pistols, some of us had shotguns, and now everyone just has like a Chinese Imperial cannon. They're just unloading.
They have that super gun from Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yes.
It has a microwave. It just has a microwave on the side. What does that have a microwave? So you can heat up your food, dude. Like, heat up your food and have a flamethrower and shoot a missile at the same time.
That's what guns should
America.
Do. Yeah. America. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I what's the word? I grieve for that. Like, I miss that in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I do. You raise a great point. Yeah, I missed that as well.
There was the meta strategy wasn't like the fastest way, or it could have been, if for like those elite high level whatevers. But for the rest of us who are just trying to play the game well, the meta was, if you're gonna bring this, what should I bring? And if you're gonna have, if I'm gonna be Sword and Shield, I'll make sure to bring the life powders, the dust of life, the flash bombs, and the materials to make those on the fly, so that we are set. And I'm gonna make sure to have the correct status weapon to do that with. If you're the lance, you need to be taking its attention and taking the hits for us, so it's not looking at us, so we can, deal the damage where we need to deal the damage at, right? Now it's just press the button and just unload.
Keep pressing that button until you win.
Yeah.
That's it's a real shame, because I think the new generation's definitely like stumbling a bit as far as like how they need to balance their weapons, but also like keep the game fun, because they definitely want the games to be faster, right? That's the direction they're going. They see faster as more fun because it's more engaging. The monsters are going crazy, right? Yeah. And so your weapons need to be more crazy to counterbalance these new, faster monsters. Like you said, like the weapons are losing their identity as far as like what they could do. It's a real crying shame just to see the differences between, like, the gunning weapons have gone through the biggest change out of every weapon in the generations. From Generations Ultimate to Monster Hunter World, every old generation the guns did not work the way they do now, because like they're more shooter, like third-person shooter type things, which is good, but the way they balance it is bad.
Yeah.
Because they balance it in such a way that they can't like have these super mobile, basically like omnidirectional tanks now, where you just like that's your hunter and you're just shooting hellfire at the monster that's moving all around, but you're hitting them with ease because you're moving easier and you can shoot them from your critical distance range fairly easily.
Yeah.
Especially if you're prepared for it and you know your weapon well. So they go into the balancing the ammos now. So like they balance it in such a way where it's like, okay, so like it really isn't helpful for me to bring my support ammos for the team anymore, because if I'm not doing damage, my weapon sucks. My weapon sucks ass, and I'm just not doing my part anymore because your part is now just doing damage. Everybody's part is just doing damage.
Exactly.
So, and like the way they balance the ammos is like, okay, so normal ammo, that just sucks ass now. Don't even fucking bother. If you build a normal gun, okay, buddy, have fun, I guess. It just sucks, okay? Just like, you might as well just be bringing like a tier 3 weapon, I guess. I don't know. Fuck up. Just have fun. Just have fun, buddy. Don't worry about it.
It's in the back. We got this. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just fine. It's okay. We'll bring the meta shit.
Yeah.
We'll get this thing dead.
Get this thing dead.
It'll die. All right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, buddy.
Yeah.
So like And then it becomes all about, like, okay, so if you're gonna nerf the shit out of this ammo type, so then we're just gonna start, sorry, fuck you then, we're just gonna use the ammos that don't have to apply to any of those nerfs whatsoever, and then the meta is now just 2 ammo types.
Right.
And that means your guns that you're building only use 1 or 2 ammos, and that just completely throws what made the gameplay for bow guns fun.
Right.
Is because you could just bring so much shit with you before,
right,
and just like use it effectively,
right,
for both support play and damage, or just like CCing the monster, like just keeping it locked down for your team, because you just like you're the jack of all trades but the master of none. But now it's just damage, because the only thing that matters is just sticky ammo, like shit like that. That's the whole thing. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
That was I never really got into the bowgun stuff because it felt like an entirely different game because of the amount of preparation and gathering and stuff. It was just like it wasn't what I was looking for, but like I understood that like the advantage of having a bowgun. When you look at it and it's like, okay, make your ammo, and you see all the different ammo types and all that, it was like, okay, these guys are ready to be able to change strategies depending on the stage of the hunt.
Exactly.
And are gonna be, they have to be in sync enough with the other hunters to know what's necessary, right? So like if I'm using if I have a paralyzed sword and shield, right? And you have paralyzed ammo. Once that thing is paralyzed, you need to stop using that and start using something else. I don't have that ability, right? So all I can do is just lay on the damage as much as I can. But like having that malleability was super useful. But now the meta is just like it's creeping into everything, and I wonder. This is like old man time. This is my curmudgeon moment, but. Is it the internet? Is it because are games now, as they have been, just being designed for the look, right? Because Monster Hunter has never looked flashier. Like I had to turn down like the effects on Rise because it's just like I can't see anything. Like
and in Sunbreak they had to introduce a new slider to like reduce it even further.
Yeah.
Which was a godsend. It was like, oh thank God, Jesus Christ.
Can't see what's happening.
Even on the low settings in Rise was too much.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Especially if you bring like Pierce ammo. The whole thing's just like
just fireworks.
Flashing.
Yeah. And then
it's ridiculous.
And then they added in like the voiceover stuff, which is okay. I don't feel like it adds much. It seems kind of cool, but it's starting to be a lot of like visual and now audio overload at all times of the hunt, and I'm just like, y'all need to chill the fuck. Like, hey, we're hunting. We're not having a party. Like, you're supposed to be like looking at the monster, measuring distances, timing your attacks, your dodges, your blocks, looking at your inventory. You're supposed to be juggling all these things, and I can't see anything because it's just this.
Now you got your hunter screaming, "I hope he has insurance."
Yeah, that's great.
It's really funny.
My favorite thing is when 4 people or 3 out of 4 hunters scream out, "He's coming for you!" And I'm like, "Ooh!" I become Skullface.
That's what I wanted.
I wanted to be like the guy with the swords. You got it. Me. Wait, hold on. Who are we talking about here? Like it's just not helpful. It's just noise. It's just like I can actually. Here's a fucking problem. I can play Monster Hunter Sunbreak, Rise Sunbreak on mute, and it makes no difference. It literally makes no difference. There are no audio cues that are necessary. Like I just don't. Right. None of it's important. Right.
Barely any of the new monsters use audio cues.
Yeah. Whereas in like Iceborne, I have my super duper high tech. Create a freaking air vacuum in my skull headphones, and I'm listening for everything. I'm like, I need to make sure that Kieran is not gonna like send 8 lightning bolts, but 10, so I know exactly when to dodge and when to just get hit by lightning. Right. There's like those things we're losing these things, and
Right.
yeah, and so I think no, go for it.
No, you go. All right. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think a part of it. I don't think it's the sole problem, but I think a part of it is the damage numbers on monsters now.
It might be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's really good information though, which is a problem because it's like, shit, man, I really want to know what I'm doing.
Right.
But but before I didn't need to know.
You're right.
All I had to do was watch for like a flash, right, when you're doing a crit on a weak spot, and you just had to learn where the weak spots were, or else your weapon would bounce off, or like shit like that.
Yeah, you had to pay attention.
Right.
You had to get good at it.
But now you're just reading numbers.
Yeah.
So
but you know what?
It's such a comfy crutch, though. It's like
but high
such
numbers,
a comfy crutch.
It gives you, it's good visual information, but it gives you the views, bro. That's the meta. You get to say, bro, look at this. I did 10,000 damage in one fucking hit. Everyone's like, holy shit. But before, you would do it and nobody would know. But you would know because the monster was like trip and be like, Jesus,
right?
The hell did you do?
It became less about the individual, more about the team. It was about the team, how fast you were doing it together.
Right.
Because you're just beating the fuck out of this thing together. Yeah, pure synergy.
Yeah, it's like everybody knew their role, and if you were all doing it effectively, then the monster didn't have a chance. You were tripping him up the whole time. He didn't know who to. He was targeting the wrong people. You don't want him targeting the left.
That's what where, like, honestly, it might just be the crux of like where it all started kind of thing. Because like if you think about it, if you're in like a call with people who play the newer Monster Hunters with the numbers, like what do you think their conversations are? It's just like, oh man, I'm doing so much fucking damage. This guy, holy shit, it's so good. You're not like strategizing. You're not talking about, all right, he's gonna start doing this shit. Like, sure, you can start saying that, but a lot of the time when I'm in those calls, they're just fucking stroking those egos, just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm doing so much fucking big dick damage, man. God damn, I'm so fucking cool. Fuck you guys. You guys might as well not even exist."
I try not to get on those calls. I try to avoid those as much as possible.
To be fair, I don't really hunt with those people anymore. Yeah, so
there you go. That's a good call. Yeah,
healthy. I gotta stay healthy here.
So let's move forward. What do we want in the future? And not what we think we're gonna get. What do we think could be a good step for the next installment that would move it back in the direction which we prefer? Because I think we've gone on and on about like what we really like about Monster Hunter and stuff. How do we get it back to this like?
I think it's a lot of like tough calls to make as far as like securing the fidelity of the future of Monster. Like they could have already figured this shit out as they're working on Monster Hunter 6, right?
Yeah.
Because World was 5.
Yeah. Why is Rise not considered the next one? I don't understand the arguments for this.
Well, it's generation wise. It's just how it's always been, right? It's like because like before like 4.
Yeah,
okay, Monster Hunter 3. There's Try, and then 3 Ultimate. Those two games, same generation.
Right,
okay?
But I don't understand how Rise is in any way related to anything that is happening in World, and how
it's a B team offshoot, right? That's because they have the main core team of Monster Hunter that make the core games that are numbered ones, and then they have the B team that usually works on mobile. Like, they made Generations Ultimate. It's like that. Yeah. Right. So, like, if you look at it, like, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and then Generations Ultimate, that's the same gen.
Alright, here's a little...
Same generation.
Here's a little advice for the cool guys out there. If you want to piss people off, just tell them Rise is 6, and they'll lose their fucking minds. And it's like, it's a little goofy. Because the numbers don't matter, because there aren't no numbers anymore. Like, they're not using them. But,
it's just generation wise.
Okay, but I hear the next Monster Hunter, which we assume will be a higher fidelity A-team production, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think they could have already figured this shit out as far as like, okay, we've learned are from our mistakes in the previous generation. We're moving forward in the right direction.
It's hard to say their mistakes when they're selling to like gangbusters, but
but like I think personally, like it might come down to some really tough calls as far as like, okay, we gotta slow this game down a little bit. We gotta slow the monsters down a little bit. Just like reel it in. Just focus on those intense fights where you were limited more.
Yes,
that kind of shit. I
think that's a hard thing for people to accept.
That, for sure.
The creativity and the fun comes in the limitation, and like it's hard. I mean, I don't know. We're artists, so we have an artistic background, and nothing gets me making better work than like not having what I need or what I think I need. Right. As soon as I'm like, one of the coolest things I did is back in university, I made a stop motion film about. I had this whole thing with like pigs and like caging and dealing with different types of interior spaces and stuff. And I didn't know how to do this well, but I was broke beyond belief. So I had a little bit of clay left over from a sculpture class I was taking, and I had some toys that I found, and one of them like farming toys, like those really cheap like dollar store, like here's a bag full of farm animals. And so one of some of the best stuff I did was just like with my phone, my iPhone 2 or whatever, I just made stop motion, just taking photos of like my toys, and I just built out like an environment out of like fucking leftover cardboard I found at the art studio, and that got me like into like the fucking the fine arts program or whatever. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then with like the clay, I just sculpted a few small like pig's feet and just kind of moved them around. And people were like, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I didn't have enough clay to make a whole pig. That's the problem. I only had enough to make the feet. And so I think the same kind of applies with Monster Hunter.
Absolutely. It applies honestly to every game, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at the indie scene. Like who's more limited than the indie scene, and they're producing some of the best, most creative shit these days, you know?
Yeah, I think it's like if it's not so much having all the tools, it's having a mastery of certain tools is what makes
knowing how to apply it with a budget.
Right. So I think that's really important for the next gen. I think they're going to need to slow the game down and it like more substance, less flash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think a really big thing that needs to happen is that there needs to be a refocusing on the monsters, in the sense of how they react to what the hunters do. Because
let me cut off their whole tail, please.
Yeah.
And when they do a tail attack, the tail attack doesn't still hit me, please. I don't want to be hit by invisible hitboxes, please.
I'm getting hit by phantom pain. Ridiculous. I hate it. It's like I cut off half your tail, yet somehow the hitbox just doesn't matter.
Tone down the wind monsters.
Yeah.
Tone down wind and jet. Just fucking get rid of Kushala Deor. Just make sure, rewrite the story to where he just doesn't exist anymore.
Just leave him out.
We went back to the future in fucking a DeLorean and killed his parents.
Or make it a fucking element. Just go all in. I don't understand.
Oh yeah,
like why
that'd be great.
Wind is such a like. What's a fucking was it Barryoth? Barryoth does fucking wind. Like when I was doing my little when I was doing my my little series on Monster Hunter Pokemon stuff, like. People were upset that I gave him like flying, or that I wanted to give him flying. And I was like, yeah, because he does gust, guys. He does gust. And they're like, but
he literally does. Yeah.
Come on, like that's what. Anyways, he's fucking Pidgey, is what I'm trying to say.
He's fuck bear.
But like, just make it an element. Give me a wind weapon.
That'd be sick. Imagine. And I'm taking this because I've played Genshin Impact for a while now, and the way you play there's a lot of elemental mixing and doing combos and shit. Imagine if you could take wind attacks for one hunter and combine it with another element to make a super attack,
Right.
or just combine that element. Like, say you apply fire to a monster, burn, and then you hit them with a wind attack that just procs the burn more, or some shit like that.
Okay, that kind of
that'd be fucking. That'd be sick, right?
I thought we were going Naruto for a second. I was like, no. Chill out, bro. We just
there's no combined special weapon like attack like in Peace Walker.
Yes. Yeah, I think that'd be cool if there were like if we could kind of stack attributes to the
right
to the monster, or
even make it like a combination like thing. Say if like you have 3 hunters attacking the monster, one of them's wind, 2 of them have 2 different elements, but they're attacking, but the monster can only stack 1 element to like debuff on them. With the wind element, you can have them stack 2 perhaps. Like it just combines them both together or some shit like that.
Yeah. I think here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see another weapon. I think we're good.
Oh, dude, no, man.
I think we're good.
We need another weapon.
Do we? What?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Give me the
dual pistols.
Shut the fuck up.
Dante! I wanna be Dante. We need another ranged weapon.
No, bring back Prowler mode, and I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. What if the hunter got a giant boomerang? Giant boomerang that doubled as a ranged weapon plus a melee weapon.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
You could use it. A giant boomerang is basically combining a great sword with just like a ranged attacker. Like you could just have a ranged attack.
Okay, but that would mean 2 things. I think if you'd have to have a catching mechanic, and then a state in which you have missed it, and so you are weaponless. And that, my friend, would be the coolest shit ever. If you can go fucking
or you're just running.
Yeah, you just gotta punch the shit out of a Rathalos because you fucking missed the boomerang.
That'd be dope.
And you do no damage, just nothing. You just
make it like a combo weapon where it's like an actual fist weapon, right?
Okay.
With a boomerang. When you with the boomerang, you're super slow. You basically greatsword, right?
Okay.
But once you throw it, you're hella fucking fast, and you can just maybe you could just fucking make a gravity spike in from Frontier. I guess just throw it, launch it in the monster, run up to it, and the combo to get your weapon back is like a punch combo or some shit like that.
Okay. No, I'm sold. That was easy. Good job. You did it.
Yeah. Giant boomerang, man.
Yeah, I think we're both in agreement. It needs to slow down. It needs to be less flashy, and
bring back those identities.
Yeah, and just make it so that the individual is instrumental to the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the. I just. Oh, there's something we didn't mention. Fuck, those stupid anomalies. I hate them.
And some breakhead.
They're so bad.
I barely did them.
It totally turned me off from the game.
It's such a polarizing first time. I was like, oh, this is so neat. We get to fight like the lower tier monsters or high tier now. That's what I wanted, like for them to figure out how to do. I was like, oh, they figured it out. But no. We have to make this monster have the health bar that is 3 times more than the final boss of the game. So that makes no fucking sense.
No sense whatsoever.
At all. So you're just stuck fighting this fucking pissed off Arsros for 30 minutes.
It's insane.
Everyone, 4 people with decked out endgame builds are just like, oh my god, fucking Arsros will die. What the fuck?
And the reason is because the blood-sucking birds are empowering them by sucking their blood? That's not how that works.
It has less blood in it, more health.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you get hit by a leech. You get hit by a leech, you're like, bro, I feel great.
I feel insanely good right now. I can fucking...
Let's go for
I can lift the car.
Story-wise, it makes no sense. Gameplay-wise, it's just like, hey, you want to do this but more? No, it's not really. I want a good reward for it. Like, oh, the reward and more RNG, baby. Like, oh god, fuck.
Like that's what needs to be sped up. Is endgame needs to be faster.
Yeah.
Like, if you want it to be grindy, make the grind fun. Not like
but also
have people locked in fights for fucking 30 minutes. Like
that's where
30 minutes of people being optimal. Like people are like got their shit figured out.
Yeah.
They're doing their job. Like they're doing well, and the game is punishing you regardless.
Yeah, it doesn't care. It's just like there's no reaction to it. It's just like, well, keep going, and then maybe you'll get a fang.
Like still, these monsters can still one shot you too. So like, imagine getting so far into a hunt and it just the hunt's over. You fucked up.
And then like the rewards are like so incremental. It's like I don't even think it's worth doing because I get what, like 20 more damage on my weapon. Like, really? And that's it? And it's going to take you forever to do. And now there's like anomaly investigations.
And the loopholes are like diluted too. So it's like you're hunting this monster, and you're not going to get the normal parts. You're going to get the anomaly parts more. So it's like, okay, so like it's not even like efficiently like giving me loot. Like it's just wasting your time. Like it sucks.
It does. So okay, so let's get off the Sunbreak hate train. So
fuck that game.
It's good, but I just don't want to go back. Honestly, like whatever new monster, like it better be amazing, or I'm just not gonna go back. But even then, I'm already gated because my anomaly.
Hey guys, you ever hear about Fatalis? He's bad.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I already got him twice. I don't need him again. Like, bring something else. But, like, honestly, they could bring back. There's so many other cool, like Elder Dragon, Black Dragons they could bring back. Yeah. It doesn't have to be Fatalis every time. The reason why Fatalis was so cool in Iceborne is because it's been a minute, and it was like
let's turn the conversation to more positive. All right, let's see what monsters we love and we want to see again. I'm gonna say. It's a frustrating ass fight in the old gens, but hey, they could rework it to make it fantastic. But Lao Shanlong is fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
What a cool fucking monster. I love it. So when I first fought that monster, it was like, okay, this slow ass motherfucker's walking down a tunnel. And here he comes. You're just shooting cannons at him, doing all this thing. All of a sudden, he stands up on two legs and just walking. Okay, what the fuck is this guy? He's standing up like he's like Talk from fucking Hook in the live action Peter Pan movie. It's like, oh fuck, dude, that's cool as hell. I would love to see them rework that fight.
When that happens, it's so like when you fight Lao Shanlong, it's so scale breaking. It's like. It's shocking. It's like, holy, what the? I'm fighting a level.
It's a thematic gimmick fight, but it is like so fun. It's a big wow factor initially. Like a lot of people grow to hate it because of the RNG, because they have to fight them multiple times if they want one thing that they never get.
And you get the coolest armor. You get that dope samurai armor.
Yeah.
Oh, so like giant horns and stuff made from his fangs. And
like Monster Hunter has historically had trouble with those gimmick fights where they're just fighting the giant monsters where you have to load cannons and shoot them over and over again, where you don't really utilize your weapons, but thematically it fits. Like all the things on paper, it sounds rad, but the grind kind of takes away from it. But still,
but like at the same time,
if they could just reiterate and improve, just make it better.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's just like the rampages were, right? Like you can make it fun. They've already shown they can make it fun. So I think that's part of the problem with that fight particularly is that there was just not enough to really make that much of an impact, and a lot of the time you just spent just whacking them, right? It's just like, oh my god, just keep going. It's just a DPS check. You're just going. Somebody better get on that cannon, going. Or instead there should have been a good example of this was when you the first time or the second time you fight Volcana, and he's attacking the stronghold, and you got to get that gun loaded, and it's just like a nuke. Oh, that shit was so cool. So dope.
We just had this fucking thing, man.
Yeah, and we can only aim it at the floor. Like what? Why would you build this? You can only shoot it right here. Like, okay.
The rise with the rampages, they made it. They just have an even bigger one.
Yeah, but you can
literally
actually
fires a micro nuke.
Yeah.
So
remember the Alamo. You just. Okay, I'll give you one that I think would be really cool to see again, and it kind of goes to the same idea. I think it'd be really cool to have Dalamador make his return.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be so much fun. I think
Dalamador is a monster I wish I fought, but it looks just so incredible.
Yeah, I also wish I fought him. I love that
the World Eater Serpent.
Yeah, so Dalamador, for those who don't know, he's the giant snake. He's the biggest. I'm pretty sure he's the biggest animal, the biggest monster in Monster Hunter.
Right.
The whole
he counts as the arena when you fight him.
Right. I'm pretty sure the Rotten Veil in
it's made of a corpse of an even bigger Dalamador.
Yeah, it's the corpse of one. And it's an entire stage. Yeah, it's amazing. It's disgusting.
Incredible.
But it's friggin' dope.
Rotten Veil might be one of my favorite zones in any Monster. Just putting that out there. I think it's just so creative and just so awesome. The way you can interact with the poison zones and by shooting the fire slinger ammo down and it clears the poison. It's just so good. Yeah. Such a good zone.
Yeah, I think it's that and the Coral Highlands are just beautiful.
Which is like in tandem. Like it's a part of it, right?
Yeah.
So good. But yeah, Dalamador is fantastic.
Dalamador's cool. I'm looking through the list of monsters.
Gogmosius, I think his name is.
Who? Who? What?
Gogmosius.
Gogmosius? I don't know this dude.
Let me see. He's in 4. He's like the first endgame monster before Dalamador.
In 4?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one in the sand? No, that's Dalamoran. That was cool.
That's Dalamoran, yeah. Gogmosius is a giant, like, ink dragon with a Dragonator stuck in his chest. What? And he uses that as a weapon. Yeah. He's hella fucking rad, dude.
How do you spell it?
I think I'm saying it wrong. Let me see.
Let me just look up Monster Hunter 4 stuff. Monster Hunter 4.
Yeah, Gogmasios.
Good.
Nice. Yeah.
I
gotta get something in my throat.
In my throat.
There you go. Just got a Gogmosius in my throat.
I got a case of the Gogmosius. You know, I take a couple
of pills.
Drink water.
This Gogmosius sound like
it's like water. It's not a problem. This should be the whole podcast. Just us talking like this. Shit.
It'll be 5 minutes long. The podcast will be 5 minutes long. Then we won't be able to talk for a month.
we should just get we should play a game. Illness or Monster Hunter monster. I got a case of the Lagambi. Let me tell you something. It's rough. It's rough out there.
2 old fucks play Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope. I don't remember him.
Yeah.
I gotta play 4.
He's a big arena fight. He's like half gimmick, half actual fight. Like, he's in a big like box arena where you have to load cannons on walls and they move them side to side so he doesn't insta-kill you with the heat beam that he just has. So like, I can't remember the deal why he's covered in ink. I think he just like produces it. Like this is just like his thing. Like he's just like the epitome of like the Heart of Darkness of shit, right?
Yeah.
Where he's just like oozing evil. And he was fought long ago in the stronghold that you're fighting him now, and they used the Dragonator on him, but it didn't kill him. So the Dragonator became a part of him, and he uses it as a weapon. But the thing is, during the fight, if you damage him enough in the right spot, you can knock the Dragonator out, and then use that as a weapon again on him to do even more super monster damage.
That's fucking awesome. So, holy shit.
It's super fucking cool.
Are the servers still up? Can we still play this?
Might have to experiment with some emulators, but he's absolutely a highlight of 4. I wish I fought him. Every time I've seen this fight, it's one of the coolest looking fucking things I've ever seen. And And like anytime he shows up on a list for like some other fans like favorite monster tier list, is like why this guy's like on there. It's like I totally get like he deserves to be really fucking high tier because this guy is really fucking cool.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you one I want to see and one I really never want to see again.
Okay.
One I really want to see again is Nibble Snarf. Because he's hilarious. Because you could fucking fish him.
They absolutely would love to hear that because it's his favorite monster.
Oh my god!
Because he's a bow gunner and Nibble Snarf's bow gun is just a minigun.
I love that you can fish him out of the fucking sand. You get the that's what Monster Hunter. I was actually trying to explain this to one of my friends because they were like, "Is it cute or is it like cool?" I was like, "It's both." Not anymore, though.
Charm.
It's way too cool now. It used to be cute and silly at the same time, and like the idea that you could just like take your fishing rod out in the desert and see him and just pull him out with just like a regular rod, and he just flips on his side, just beat the shit out of him after.
You're rewarded for creative, out of the box thinking.
Yes,
good.
Like having using. I thought that was kind of part of the idea of being the hunter was that you were a master of all your tools, right? And so that really mattered. It doesn't matter anymore. You just got to get the big number. So that's really fun. Right. Here's a monster I never want to see again. Fucking Quetzalcoatl. Get the fuck out of here. You're weird to look at. I don't know how to deal with you. You're all over the place. And like the way he moves annoys me. His attacks annoy me. Let me tell you something. I've been playing Monster Hunter Stories on my phone, and a great game. Fucking hate him there too. He's just shit everywhere.
Polarizingly terrible.
I don't even know what he is. He's just a nightmare-looking monster. He's got ears like an elephant, hooks like a sloth, swings around like an orangutan. But
Anteater nose.
It's just like who did this and why? and
he's got like flying squirrel ability too, doesn't he?
Yes. He can fly, but he also swings and he climbs and he can attack you from underneath. Fuck that guy. He's the worst, and he's never worth it. He's never worth it. Like I don't want anything you offer, you piece of shit. But you gate me, so just move along. And never make it.
Get out of here!
Get out of here! All right, give me one you want and one you don't want.
I think I'll go with the don't want first because I think they fixed them in recent gens, but Jan Kutku is a fucking asshole, man. Jan Garuga.
Jan Garuga. Okay.
It's a Jan Kutku that got fucked by a
Raytheon. It's
Gormagala.
The joke is it's young Cuckoo. Is it young Cuckoo? One of the other birds.
Kutku,
like crossed with a Raytheon, and that's why it's poison and ugly.
I hate that ones.
I don't like them.
I hate them in older. I don't mind them as much in Iceborne because they did add them in Iceborne in the end game. In the grinding lands.
I love the grinding lands. I love the grinding lands. So fun.
Grinding lands were fun, man.
Dude, just hanging out. Like no.
I don't think I do think it kind of got old after a while. But again, I did play it to death, so that's more on. I was just having too much fun, so I really shouldn't complain.
Yeah.
But grinding lands were cool. Jan Garuga, I think he was better, but like. It's always just going to be stained in my head from fighting him in Generations where they had the Samus event.
Yes.
Where you can get her armor and her gun.
Yes. That was the only time I used a gun.
I really wanted her armor and her gun, but you had to fight Jan Garuga to do it because he just looks the most like Ridley. Mm-hmm. And fuck, man. That fight was so I fucking hated fighting that thing so much. He literally, like, the reading and just, like, everything that monster was programmed to do was just, I'm annoying. I'm annoying. I'm gonna fuck up your time and you're not gonna have fun fighting me. Never, ever. Fuck you.
I will easily 100% admit to being carried through those fights. Like, I'm just gonna hang out.
I know. I helped you a little bit.
Yeah, cause fuck that. I'm like, I'm just gonna take my bow and just stand over here for a little bit. Good luck, y'all.
That guy's trying to do aerial style, but no, young Guru is gonna be spinning and doing a little tail swipe all the time. Oh, you're trying to do something new? He's gonna do a chicken run. Oh, he did a poison breath. Fuck you! Fuck you! Alright. What I'd love to see again, I mean, bias, I want to see Nergigante in every fucking monster going forward. I want him to be the Godzilla of Monster, where he's just like, he's the necessary evil to, like, facing against Elder Dragon threats, because he's the Elder Dragon that hunts Elder Dragons, and that is just so fucking cool. And he's also Doomsday, because he's got spikes all over him, like, grow back, and the more you hurt him, like, you know, hurt me more, Snake. Like, the stronger he gets. Like, he's just so fucking cool, man. Like, he's just the raddest motherfucker that's ever graced Monster Hunter. I love that monster to death.
That's your favorite monster, then?
He is hands down my favorite monster. He is just so fucking cool.
You know, I'm always like, it's hard because I think there's so many really cool ones, but I think I'm still enamored with Fatalis. I think the idea...
Fatalis is like he's got the mystique.
Yeah, he's got that air about him. The lore around him super cool. I like that.
He's also just a dragon-ass dragon.
Dude, he's just hot. That's his thing. He's just like, I'm so fucking hot. I burn everything around me. Like, what? Like, I kill hunters and melt them onto me.
Make them a part of me.
Jesus,
they're my armor.
What?
Like, you know, you make monsters are your armor, and I make you my armor.
And when you see the first, like, Fatalis, he's the goofiest looking motherfucker. He's just got this stupid long neck. He's just like got this dumb looking grin.
Like Figment, the Magic Dragon.
Yes, he looks like he belongs in, like, the Black Cauldron or some shit. Like, it's just goofy, but then it's just, like, insane. And the fight in Iceborne, which I never beat. So right now I'm on the road. I'm doing it again. I started over from the beginning so I can just, like, get as know myself as well as I can, so that I can make the adjustments when I have to. But just, like, watching people do that fight where he's just melting things, it's just it's just, I don't know.
Also, I don't know if you've seen it, but, like, if you bring a gun lance or lance, you can block his flames, but also you can block his flames for everyone else behind you.
I didn't know that, Mike. Are you serious?
It looks so sick, dude, because you know how he blankets the arena in fire, right? When his big cone fire attacks, if you shield up at the right time, that fucking fire parts for you.
Mike.
And you create your own cone of, like, fucking protection. It's one of the coolest fucking things, because, like, when we were fighting, we had a couple lance mains with us, gun lance and lance. I was a gun lancer, and I don't remember who saw it first when it happened, but when we saw that shit happen, we were like, no fucking way! Like, we were just like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool!
Like, you're hurting.
Completely nerding out.
Well, let me tell you something right now, okay? I don't have a PC. I'm a filthy Mac user. I will give you money, sir. You will reconnect. No, you have your PS5 now. Fuck you. You're gonna put that disc in there, and you're gonna join me, damn it, because I need a friend, and I don't want to do it alone. That's the coolest thing ever. You need to be behind me, even if you don't make it. Just I need you to be behind me so I can live the dream, because that's all I want. As a lance user, I just want to block everything for everyone, and I hate when I block it and the dude behind me is, like, eating tail. I'm like, ugh, come on, dude. I can only do so much.
That fight is a marathon.
It is.
That's a test of endurance.
Yeah.
Test everything.
We're gonna do it, Mike. You are socially obligated now. We've been talking about Monster Hunter for 2 fucking hours.
I was getting comfy in my retirement.
No.
I seen it. I seen the flame.
No.
I seen it die.
And then after that, we'll jump on.
Chewing on my animal crackers like Quentin Jaws, like. scraping on the truck bar.
After that, we're gonna jump straight to Generations Ultimate and go after White Fatalis, and it's gonna be awesome.
Oh my god! I've never seen that fight ever.
I've never fought him there either. No, I've never gone that far. Okay, I think we've exhausted our Monster Hunter talk because we could do it for another hour.
We definitely could.
I have no doubt we'll talk more about it once more stuff comes out for the new one. We'll have our Monster Hunter Minute because when we started this podcast and we were talking about our favorite games, we both left this out because for us it's like a foundational like tie. Like it's a part of us. Like we can't get away from it. As much as I'll shit on Sunbreak and Rise, I still really love the series.
We just want the best for it, man.
It's like a child will braid you to get you better.
That's right. No, even though they don't listen.
They don't listen. They don't listen. They think they know.
They got more money than me, so why should they listen to me? Like,
that's fair. What do we know? What the fuck do we know? Okay, let's move on. Addiction to for real. Let's see. Okay, so since we don't have any questions from the audience, it's episode 1. You guys always at any time you guys can. Oh, we got a question actually from. We just got a question right now, so we can answer these questions and and then after that we got a little segment about articles that we're reading and we kind of just want to go over them. So we'll do that in a minute, but for now. Let's answer Egg's question. What do you think the best Monster Hunter game is for someone new to the series? That's a really good one.
I think... Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Mike, you're first.
I think it's between World or Rise. Rise is very friendly to new people, to new players, but Sunbreak is not.
Correct.
Sunbreak is not friendly at all to new players. Which is a real damn shame when I went into Sunbreak. I was like, what the fuck are they... Dude, I don't even know how to play this game. I've been playing this game for years. I don't know how to fucking play this game anymore. Like, it's so brutal.
Yeah.
But Rise is a very nice intro because it tones down the grinding, which is, to veterans, it's kind of unfortunate because we kind of like that preparation grind. But yeah, so play World. World.
I'm gonna second that. Yeah, I think World has a really good onboarding at the beginning.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it plays well.
Yeah, it plays great. It's still very active, so it's
don't go in for the story because like Monster Hunter has never been strong for story, but
World has the only one that's worth caring
what's
about.
What's that?
World has the only one that I think is World and Iceborne. I think are the only ones that are substantive. Fucking people talk in that game, bro. Before
it's true, yeah. Like the story is more presented for sure.
Yeah, it's very.
But it's okay.
Yeah,
the story is okay.
It's a shonen anime. It's very bare bones, but it's there. It's nice to have justifications for hunting monsters besides you getting a letter from a guy I was looking for mushrooms and oh shit. Come kill this thing! Okay, sure.
That is a fun little tidbit. Every Monster Hunter tries to have some kind of excuse for you to go on a murderous rampage across the wilderness. So, in 3, it's there's earthquakes and a tidal wave. I better start killing.
Yeah. Here's what I'll give you. So, another reason why I think World is really good for new players is because, lore-wise, the other games are very much... You're not going to know about this unless you read deep into it, but you're going into controlled areas that they're hunting grounds essentially that are what's the word? Not manipulated by, but basically held together by this invisible army that's flying around the world, keeping all the monsters in one place for you to fight.
Right, the Research Commission.
The Research Commission, and they're the powers that be, and you'll see them from time to time, in the sky, looking down and whatever, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. But Monster Hunter World is very much you stepping into a new world, and so they treat it as if you are new to the place, so it's very incremental. And you don't. Everything's not just up front. It's very, very good about onboarding. It's very active, and the SOS system is the best. I still think that's the way to do Monster Hunter, especially for new people. So mid-hunt, if you're having trouble, you can shoot a flare up into the sky, and anybody online
will open you up to online. Yeah.
Right, and people can come in and help you. And that's super useful. I've done it many times. Like I've just needed
and as a hunter on the inverse, you can look at a mission board and be like accepting SOS calls. So like you just look to see what's opening up, and you go in, you go in mid-hunt, help people out. You get rewarded extra for it.
Yeah,
like it's cool.
And I think that's as like a veteran player, I really enjoy that part of it. Like sometimes just to like warm up, I'll go back down to high rank and just jump into anything and just like help them out. You know, like I'll stand back, I'll let them fight a bit. But if I see they're having a lot of trouble with timing and stuff, I'll just kind of go in, push the monster back a little bit, get their attention. You know, like give them the opportunity to kind of learn the thing, because I think that's really important too. Like from a community standpoint, it's good to be the guide yourself when you can be, in whatever ways you can be. Monster Hunter World is really good for that. Iceborne is a really good expansion. It gets so much content. It's really good. So yeah, I would say first time players do that. What I would tell you to stay the hell away from is the first Monster Hunter. Just don't fucking do it. Just beware.
Yeah, it's age-out. It is
rough.
It was well past its prime when it first came out.
Yeah, it's a tough game. Don't play that. But also, if you're into Monster Hunter but you don't want to you're not into like action games, the Monster Hunter Stories is actually really good. It's a very competent RPG.
It's a very cool take on Pokemon and the Rock Paper Sisters.
I'll fucking fight anybody. I think it's better.
Honestly, yeah, the combat is better.
Combat's better.
I did not play the first one yet. I still have it. I just have to find my 3DS now.
Yeah. Come on.
But I'll get around to it eventually, maybe, I don't know. But I played 2. I did not finish 2, though. It did. I think it overstayed its welcome a little bit. I don't know. The story was just very long.
What's up? Nergigante's in that game.
I couldn't even get to Nergigante. Yeah. I was like, man, this game's taking so fucking long.
Yeah, I have 2 on the Switch, but I'm trying to finish 1 before, even though they're not like related that much. But I'm just, I like to kind of, if I can, I like to have like the whole scope of the thing. So.
Right, I get you.
Oh, fucking Nightbot coming in clutch out of nowhere. Yeah. So. All right, good question, Egg. Thanks for asking. If, as Nightbot's telling you, if you want to hang out with us and get news from us and shoot the shit, join our Discord, do that. So our next bit is going to be about some articles that we've been maybe not necessarily reading, but like seeing, and we kind of want to discuss.
Cautiously reading.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the screen. It might take me a second. But basically, the idea is we're just going to talk about these articles and see what we think. You guys can hear about what we think. Un segundo, por favor. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the whole thing. I should... Mike, what have you been playing lately? We never went over that.
Oh yeah, so I've been playing a big mix of games lately. I've been playing Dark Tide, Warhammer 40k.
Yeah. Enjoying
that. That's just a Left 4 Dead style shooter.
Okay.
It's if you're familiar with Vermintide 2, it's by the same people. And now they've mixed in a lot of ranged combat with melee combat. And the game looks gorgeous. It's in a bit of a rocky cycle right now because they are framing it as a games as a service type game, and the developer is struggling. They're in their awkward honeymoon phase. I think a lot of people are starting to see the cracks, and people are not as willing to put up with that bullshit right now. So. you're gonna see a lot of people just like getting bored of it already, or just like not happy with Fat Shark. That's the name of the developer.
Let's see.
Fat Shark.
I'm pretty sure V Star is really into it, or one of our followers.
Okay. Cool.
Part of the fam over here. I know he's really into it. Anima plays it a lot too, but I haven't seen them on it, so yeah, maybe they're falling off as well.
It's one of those games where it's like it's gonna get better, and
over time,
like they'll slowly improve. Like Vermintide 2 is the same case, but it took 2 years for that game to get good, kind of thing. So Darktide's probably gonna be the same case, but like I think they want to do like a season pass thing where you buy a season pass and you can just upgrade it by playing the game, kind of thing. Yeah. I think they're gonna do that. They already have a cash shop in there where you buy cosmetics.
Oh, those fun.
Yeah, and there are mechanics in the game that they have like vendors for, but like the mechanics are just not done yet, and so people are still waiting on that. It's just like, yeah, like the game is fun, man, but like it'd be really cool if it was actually finished.
You know, that's rough. Yeah, I hear that. Lately, I've been playing. What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Mini Motorways, which is a
Mini Motorways.
Yeah, I just wrote an article on it. A little blog on my website, but it's I'll probably play it on stream sometime this week, but it's like basically it's a strategy game, like a real-time strategy where you try to build roads for efficient traffic, but you have like randomized like things to help you, like tools like roundabouts or bridges or whatever, tunnels, traffic lights. The cars never crash, but what you're trying to avoid is congestion. And so they're going from like a red house needs to get to a red building, and the red building will generate like a little marker, and so the car has to get from the house, pick up the marker, and take it back to the house. But you have limited space. You have more. It just randomly generates the buildings and the homes in which they're coming out of. So like you just kind of have to roll with the punches at this going, and you're gonna fail basically. It always ends in like entropy. It's just like it's gonna explode. So it's kind of fun to do that. They kind of use it has like a really great look. But yeah, I've been playing it on my phone. It's part of Apple Arcade, which I've actually been really enjoying. They have a lot of really good games there.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been mostly looking at games there because they do cross-save stuff a lot too. So I can start on my phone, come back to my Mac, play it there, and it looks great. And it's like a good like puzzle to start the day. You know, with my coffee, just kind of go in, do a little thing, and then I just can like get on with it. You know, like it's a good like time filler, but it's pretty fun. And besides that, just Iceborne. Just trying to get through Iceborne.
Iceborne,
Lots of fun.
Yeah, I got a mix. I played this week. I played more Pokemon Scarlet. I am enjoying it, but there's just it's teetering on 50-50 for me. Yeah. And it's not just like the technical limitations anymore.
Yeah.
Where I just feel like a lot of the mechanics are just like, I don't know, man.
Just not enough.
To me, it feels like the Game Freak is kind of like Ouroborosing itself in like mechanics, where it's like we want to give people what they want, but we don't want to give up what we know. So, like we're not advancing as far as like
it's that cycle, man.
It's lost in it because like what also doesn't help is that Game Freak is expected, or like they're expected to have a new Pokemon game every year, right?
How many
Pokemon
games are there on the Switch, dude? It's like Let's Go, Sword and Shield, and now Scarlet.
I think there's a mystery dungeon on there too.
There is a mystery dungeon. I
think that's just a re-release though, or a remake.
And then there's also like a Unite. I know they're not making it, but they're working on it for sure. So
right. There's a lot of Pokemon.
So much. Oh, Z, brought up a good point. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Project Zomboid.
Project Zomboid,
A lot of Zomboid.
I want to get back into that. I hope that someone said in your server that they were making a you're planning on making a private server?
Yeah, hopefully if we get that going, definitely want to get people on there.
Going in blind and just being able to only find people through finding them, talking them in game.
It's so
that's exciting.
It's exciting, but it never happens. I can never connect to anybody because they have 4,000 fucking mods, and I'm like, I don't need 3 gigs of mods to not connect with you, bro. Like, it's so yeah. I gotta clean up my game, but
we'll have to see about how he runs the server. But I'm excited to see how that plays because I'm totally down, especially if people want to role play in that. Like I'm like that
could be a lot of fun. Yeah, just the idea of like getting to a certain point, everybody starting randomly, moving to the same place, trying to talk to each other. That's super fun for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this article. I have it up on the screen. It's kind of small, but I didn't want to cover your face.
That's fine.
Okay. Oh, actually,
put it behind us.
All right, so the article I wanted to point out was the biggest gaming disappointments of 2022 coming out of Kotaku.
Yep.
Yeah, Kotaku's a website I do my best to avoid, but now that we're talking about culture and gaming, I think it's relevant because a lot of people care about it, and I think we should talk about it. But generally, I don't like anything they ever have to say about much. They frustrate me about a lot of things. Their angles on things are just weird. But kind of the last straw was when Metroid Dread came out. And like within the day of release, they were talking about how much better it runs on emulators. And it was just like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, you're going to promote this shit right now? Like, that, it's just, I don't know. I think they have a lot of conflicts with... well, I mean, it's just journalism generally, right? It's a complicated thing, but I think they make more mistakes than they admit to, and I don't think people hold them accountable for a lot of it. But anyways, let's hear their terrible takes. That's my main thing is they have really bad takes.
Terrible take moment.
Terrible takes. Let's see. What are the? Where is it? What? Oh, it's a slideshow. Oh,
it's a slideshow. Yeah.
Let's see. Bobby Kotick still has a job. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Yeah, it's awful. I'm not entirely familiar with the whole case. Generally, when I read, like, CEO,
to summarize, one of the things he's done, other than many allegations of sexual harassment of women that work for him, he threatened to kill someone.
Okay.
And that is known publicly, and he still has a job. Yeah. So money really does talk.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Normally, when I hear like complain about CEO, I kind of just dismiss it because it's like, well, yeah, who else are you gonna complain about, right? But I don't really, I can't personally. I just can't I can't care that much. Like when I hear like powerful person does bad thing, I'm like, yeah,
right,
cool. It's important to say it.
I don't get lost in myself either.
Yeah, I get fatigued by it. Like, anyways, all right. So that's not a bad thing, I guess. Next slide. Buggy, broken, and messy game launch. So yeah, was Pokemon? I saw a lot of buggy shit going on with Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon's pretty rough.
Yeah. Gotham Knights is a problem too. I don't know. I think it's a matter of expectations a lot of time. You know, like especially with like games like Cyberpunk was like released way too early. Nobody was prepared, but a lot of it.
It had gone through like 5 delays.
Yeah,
you know.
But that's the thing. Like the expectation on the consumer end, I always feel is like a little too. It has a little too much sway.
Yeah. It affects journalism too much.
Yeah,
maybe. At the same time, like like it's not unfair to expect quality out of something. Right?
No, for sure. Like I don't think
you want your game to work when you pay money for it. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that and game dev like AAA studios are just like slave labor camps now, just like fucking people.
Yeah,
going through crunch and just like they're just doing the best they can, man. But like
Yeah,
business.
Part of it is just like I think one way we can combat that as consumers or as gamers is to just chill the fuck out when people are delaying things. Like that's a good thing. We don't want if you want to get away from slave labor, you need to lower the demand, especially on like the timing, right? Like that's a
consumer demand doesn't necessarily it does affect like the business, but at the same time, like when a business like the gaming industry has reached the heights that it does, it's kind of like it self-imposes like its own restrictions on itself of what it needs to keep going.
For sure.
Because when you have an industry that's bigger than movies, like these AAA studios, they want more money. They want more money, dog. Like
right.
they need the more money. So the way they do that is they need bigger, flashier games faster. Like look at Ubisoft. How many 200-hour fucking RPG Assassin's Creed games have they put out in the last 5 years? Like it's too many. Too many of those games. Like I don't know why people still want those games, but like fuck dude, I just want to be able to play an Assassin's Creed, enjoy it and finish it. But I can't even do that anymore. Like the last one I played was like the Greek one. No wait, I played the Valhalla one where you play a Viking.
Yeah.
I got like 20 hours into that one because I saw it was going down the same path as like the Greece one or like Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love that aesthetic. I love that story. Like they're trying to really go on. Just exploring that world was really cool. I put 70 hours in that game, and I wasn't even 50% done with the story of that game, okay? Like, I was like, fuck, dude. Fuck. I don't have time for this anymore, man. I feel like I'm done. I want to move on, so I did. And I never looked back. And it's really unfortunate, because that's also the thing, is like, they just like, okay, here's more DLC for this game, too, because it's the package of how they develop these games now. Okay, we're going to make a big-ass, flashy game, and then we're planning to work on it for another 2 years, while our other team makes another big-ass, flashy game. And while the B team's making the DLC for the current game, we're having a player base that's never going to stop playing our game until the next game comes out. And it just keeps on going because the player base needs more and more shit, apparently. I guess they can never take a break. We're not going to let you take a break.
Yeah.
This game's going to keep going forever.
I mean, no, I hear you. Yeah, I think that is definitely... But that's what I mean, right? Like, it's a little bit of... I don't know, just like blame to share, right? Because, like, people keep buying it. So... I don't know. Anyways, we can keep moving. Games. I hope games are less buggy and broken when they launch. So good one, Kotaku. Kotaku so far 3 or 2, right? 2 points. 2 points for Kotaku. I got really bored at Assassin's Creed like after the 4th one. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like oh, we're going to Victoria.
I really want to like that series.
I
honestly like the England one. I finished that game.
It's all the same though. I don't.
Yeah,
you know what I don't want to do? I don't want to fucking walk behind people while they're talking. Okay.
You don't want to eeavesdrop anymore. I get that.
Done with that.
What was entertaining for? I think it was Syndicate. I think it was that game.
The grappling hook.
No. Like, sure, that was fine. But what was more entertaining? Because that was in the tier where Assassin's Creed became more about, like, you're going to click one button and watch your character do everything for you. But, like, the enjoyment out of that was, like, just vegging out, clicking that button over and over again, and watch your character just brutalize the fuck out of someone. Because, holy fuck, those animations were crisp. Like, the way they mocap those, like, combat animations, like, holy fuck, like, someone was like sadistic in that like they do some like crazy shit. Like how the fuck is nobody just like vomiting after like watching what the fuck they just saw, dude? Like Jesus Christ!
Oh, because they had no stand-up. They were shitting all over them. Next slide.
And also, you could fucking horse jack in that. you could horse jack other like carts. By jumping from one to another and then crash those carts into street signs and people on the sidewalk, which is just like ridiculous. Yeah.
All right.
If you don't think about it That game was a lot of fun.
Fair enough. Okay, let's next up, the rise of the $70 video game. I think y'all need to get over that because that's how much I pay for video games here. Like,
hey, dude, like I don't know, like I guess these people didn't grow up in the N64 era.
Bro.
Games were $100 back in the day.
Easy $100. SNES games are like $80.
Like fucking Hey You Pikachu, $150.
Dude, and adjust for inflation. So what was it really?
Yeah.
It was like $270. It's like I don't know. Yeah,
almost a $200 game that barely worked. Like,
yeah, I think
like damn, dude.
I
Like,
think like the idea, it's just a very American thing too, because that just doesn't happen here. Like, I'm not buying Crisis Core because I can't find it for less than $80 here. It's just like I don't think that game is worth $80, so I'm good. I'll wait. But yeah, this is a silly ass line for many. $60 is too much to stomach. It's been $60 since like the 360. Like, stop it. That's almost like 2 decades worth of your price being exactly the same.
right.
Chill the hell out. Like, it's not
That's we've been spoiled, man.
Holy
shit.
Big time. Like,
With how much you can get out of a game these days, holy fuck, dude.
It's silly.
How easily accessible games are these days? Oh my gosh, dude.
And the amount of
Game Pass? Microsoft Game Pass?
Yeah.
The fucking, oh my gosh, dude. One of the greatest deals in business history. Like, if you're a gamer, like, holy fuck, dude, like, you can get that shit for free. All you have to do, like, even if you're paying for it, it's like $15, like, a fucking month or something like that. Like, all you have to do is, like, download 3 games, and you've, like, more than, like, paid for the whole year. Like, it's like, fuck. Like, it's so good. We've got it real good.
And when you think about, like, what dev costs are, just look at the credits of a game and just be like, well, all these people had to have a salary? Like, these people get insurance? Like, oh my god, it's crazy. So, yeah, $70 games, sorry guys, it's a hobby, it's not food, and $70 is great. So, you know.
Bring back Guitar Hero, I'll buy that peripheral again. Okay.
Video game companies.
We get tunnel vision after playing.
Dude, we used to get so much tunnel vision. We would play. Me and Mike would play Rock Band for like fucking 4 hours straight, and I'd just be like, I can't walk because like I have no depth perception.
Just chill on the couch, bro. That's why it's here.
Give me a soda. Help.
Just stretch out a little bit.
Let's see. Video game companies consuming each other. I don't really care.
Who cares?
Yeah, moving on.
This goes into the thing of like the consumers care a little too much about this.
Yeah, shit. Like, the
reason why they're caring is because journalists are trying to make them care.
Yeah,
like putting it in their face and being like, "I don't like this. You shouldn't like it either."
Exactly. Yes. Oh. It's like I don't like. I don't. You know what? Pablo Picasso was not the nicest guy ever. I don't care that much. He was like a known womanizer. He was rude to a lot of people, but he made Guernica, and it was his work is incredibly important. And he didn't murder people, okay? But like he probably had some shady business practices. Yeah, as far as you know, right? Fine, but like I don't like that. The answer to like how do we separate the artist from the work is that we don't. Like, that's not a good answer.
J.K. Rowling's going through the same thing. There's a lot of people. Yeah. And, like, to be fair, like, there are people who deserve the vitriol, right?
They could, yeah.
Based on their actions, right? But, like, dude, I'm not gonna stop enjoying Michael Jackson, dude. Like, Michael Jackson's fantastic.
It's hard. Michael Jackson's a weird one, though.
Michael Jackson's music is fantastic, dude. Like,
it's hard not to like it. But like, I liked it without knowing who. Like, if I just heard it, I'd be like, yeah, this is good music. And then to be like, well, he was a terrible person. Like, okay, but I don't know what it says about the music. It's hard.
People they also say like you can't vote with your wallet. Like, right, if you don't want to support something, just don't pay for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if you take that hard stance on everything.
You're not gonna buy anything.
Like, you're just not enjoying life, man. Like,
you're not gonna be. You're not.
Like, that's. It's like if it doesn't even make sense. It's a hypocritical stance of a lot of things. Like, if you think about it, like, you pay taxes, right? If you're an upstanding citizen, you pay taxes. Well, I'm sorry, buddy. Your government's probably done something really shitty.
You should probably stop paying taxes then, right? If you want to be.
If you don't want to be a hypocrite,
right? Yeah. If you want to be 100% pure, if you want to, if your world needs to be black and white, then yeah, it's silly.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird shit, NFTs are still a thing. Yeah, it's stupid, but it doesn't matter that much. I don't think it's that important. Like, it's important in a way that it's fooling people into thinking they're building some kind of wealth.
It's like culling the herd, really.
Yeah, it's predatory, and I think that's what sucks. Yeah. I've been, I don't know if you're not really on social media much, but I've been approached way too many times, and I kind of just stopped putting my work online because of it, because I just didn't want people stealing my shit and trying to sell it to other people. Theft is a problem for sure. I think that's a bigger issue with the NFT thing.
Yeah, plagiarism.
Yeah, but this, like, I drew a fucking monkey and I want to charge imaginary money for it. Like, I don't know. If you're like knee deep in that shit, like, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I tried to understand this shit, like, when it was really popping off. I was like, but how do you make? How does it not real money have value?
Get it?
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Where does it come from? I don't know.
It's just speculation, and it's like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to. There's not enough time in my
ethereal. Like, it's just like, what? So it's ethereal money? Like,
they're telling you what it is. Okay, this is what's driving me crazy. This is what spawned me to pull this fucking
Chris Pratt, Mario,
people.
And Kotaku's taking a hard stance on it too.
What the fuck is their problem?
I just like they gotta stick up their ass and they need to show everybody.
For
like,
real, just leave the guy alone. I mean,
I think it's fine. It's completely fine.
Sounds perfect to me. Like, what? I didn't want fucking. The complaints don't make any sense. They're like, he doesn't sound like Mario. It's like, okay, well, you don't want Charles Martinet to fucking go on it to make a soliloquy, right, bro? You
2 hour movie.
You don't, because I don't know why they're not admitting this, but the Mario voice is the most stereotypical nonsense Italian voice we've ever heard, and it's okay because it's for kids and he's a cartoon and nobody cares, right?
So it's like a thing is. The woke culture for Kotaku is just not working because apparently, like, they want Chris Pratt to be a stereotypical racist Italian.
Yeah, depiction of an Italian guy, but they're upset that he's not doing that enough. But I think honestly, they're just upset that it's him. Like, they have a personal beef with the guy. Like, he's so.
They're fine with everybody else, I think.
I guess, yeah.
They're only targeting Chris Pratt here.
Fucking Charlie Day as Luigi. Sounds like Charlie Day. He's not doing much.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's fine. Who gives a shit? It's a kid's movie. Yeah. Get your stick out your ass and fucking move along. Like, who cares? But no, it's number 7 on our list. We're really upset that this guy. We've heard 4 fucking sentences from him out of context, and we're like, not good enough. We like, I don't know. It's just goofy. He's the least offensive person ever. Like, just
truly, actually,
just I think he's just a nice guy, and they just can't do it. Anyways, anyways,
I paid millions. I don't think he cares.
Yeah, of course he does. He's wiping his tears with all his money. But also, like, I think it's fucked up because I think the bias comes from the fact that he's successful, and because he's successful, like, success breeds success.
Yeah, he's got to be a target
of who I don't even know who these people are who are so upset, and there's no name on this, so I don't know who. Whatever, who cares? More layoffs and studio closures. The G4 thing is weird. I don't know if there's a real reason. I don't know if there was the demand for G4 that people were convinced there was.
People thought this group definitely thought there was, but
like Adam says,
it's like YouTube. You know, YouTube's how you consume media these days. So
Yeah, it's just different.
If it's not on YouTube, it doesn't matter. Like,
kind of. And so you guys can find our VOD on YouTube coming up sometime this week.
right.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, it sucks. You know, you don't want to see people get out of a job, but I don't think it's like this epic. Things happen, man. There's a pandemic. I don't know, man. Times are rough, but yeah, it sucks. It's not fun. I don't know if it's like the biggest disappointment. Like things happen.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
Okay, this shit too. Nintendo keeps treating its fans and employees poorly. Okay, the employee thing is really, it's very much a hearsay thing, and it's very frustrating that, like, the journalists, especially Kotaku, they love to jump, like, they're so anti-corporate that they don't, like, they're not reading into things in a, like, a person with a job would look at this. So basically the idea was somebody filed a complaint that they were wrongly fired for trying to start a union. But this person wasn't a full-time employee, they were a subcontractor. And
I see.
And they weren't like, and they were fired. Nintendo's saying they were fired because they leaked information that was confidential. And the argument against that is like, well, it wasn't even that important. Like, it didn't give away enough information. But like, we don't know the full context if we're not there, right? These are confidential things, so we don't have the context for it, right? Mm-hmm. But it just seemed like it has all the tales of a disgruntled dude who got fired who wants to point the finger at a big company, and it's very easy to do that on Twitter, right? You just say, right. Oh, they hurt me, and everyone's like, I can't believe the people with power did a bad thing, and then here we are again, right? And so it's a little much. I feel like it's a little silly. But I can understand a little bit why people get upset at how strict Nintendo is about their IPs and how protective they are. But at the same time, I give them a little bit more wiggle room, because when we look at like the big three right now, or even other companies, Nintendo is like they're a big corporation, right? Right. But they're basically a game company, right? This is what they do. They do hardware, software. When you look at like Sony's a multinational conglomerate that has their fucking fingers in film, technology, music, they do hardware.
So much.
Yeah, you see Sony products in everything. Microsoft? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, Microsoft,
they own the world.
Basically, Microsoft is in everything. Like, their footprints and their fingerprints are on everything. Yeah. They're gonna be fine,
they
right?
Print money. They just the safest company probably in the world. I would assume.
Yeah.
I don't know that shit for sure because I don't really put my nose in it. But yeah.
But yeah, so I think I can understand them being a bit more protective about their IPs and the way people use them. You know, shutting down tournaments.
It's a vision. It's just world for companies.
Yeah, again, from an artistic point of view, I can understand the fear of your shit just getting reproduced and distributed without your consent or without credit or payment. Like, even though they're a big company and whatever, like, there's people that are behind the logo, you know, there are people who have jobs whose bonuses depend on things. Like, there's a lot more to it, and I think it's very, like, you know, it's just easy to shit on the big people, right? So
yeah, for sure, get a big target.
Yeah, big target. But again, they make great fucking games. Yeah, they make great shit. So if one fucking Smash tournament gets canceled because they didn't want you to use modded stuff, just deal with it. I don't know, like and there's a weird bullshit expectation I think people have where Nintendo has to like support their communities. Like, no, they fucking don't. Like, you're all crazies. Like, you're all
they support you by making content.
Exactly. Like,
for you to consume.
You're making money off of them already when you're like streaming and going to these tournaments and all this stuff, and they're letting that happen because it's really difficult to stop. Like, it'd be way not worth it to put the, you know, to stop it. But like, it's silly for people to like complain about like the restrictions they put when honestly there's so many ways around it, you know. let's see, what else? What's another thing? They send a hacker to prison. Yeah, that's illegal. Like, I don't. As always, Nintendo lawyers need to chill. Like, you guys, like, I don't know. It's silly, but imagine. I don't know. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot here that they're just kind of, lightly touching on. But I think that their responses might be a little strong, but they're not unreasonable, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. This is a long fucking list. Elon Musk continues to be stupid. Jesus. Yeah, we can just move on. This is not important. Like.
Yes.
Also, this is a horrifying photo. Good God. Jesus.
Yeah. Games disappearing, shutting down, or going away forever. Yeah,
again, the unreasonable expectations. That's just what it's going to be. Like, things happen.
It does suck that you design games to be on a server and online only. That game's not going to be around forever. That does suck. But yeah.
I mean, there's definitely. I wish there was more ways to preserve games. I wish there was I mean, there are actually companies that do that that are focused nonprofits that are all about game preservation and record keeping and stuff, and that's great.
Right.
It sucks that you can't play things forever, but also there's a lot to do. So you're good. If you want to play Deus Ex Go at the ripe old age of 90, my apologies.
Yeah, we're in basically an incredible age post genesis of video games itself.
Yeah.
Video games were invented not that long ago.
Yeah.
There's just new ones every single day. It's an incredible thing.
Yeah, and it's got it's hard. Do you play Overwatch? I don't play Overwatch.
I played the first one. I haven't played 2. A lot of people are upset by 2. It's understandable based on what I've heard. Blizzard's just not very popular right now.
Yeah, nobody likes them. Game companies keep disrespecting artists and musicians. I don't know much about this.
I've heard some stuff.
Oh, that's a little weird. We saw Epic offer an artist $3,000 for an art piece while it rakes in millions of dollars selling skins for Fortnite. I don't know how those are relevant to each other. That's ridiculous. I can't get mad at Disney for paying me $1,000 to do a painting because it's Disney and they have more money they could give me. That's weird. There's way more into that, right? I'm sure there's so much more to those stories.
Really can't just oversimplify things like that. It doesn't do anything in any service, right?
The metaverse isn't dead yet? That's shitty. Why do you want things to fail? Weren't you just complaining that people were closing down and shit and getting laid off? And now they're like, well, because it's Mark Zuckerberg. I don't. This is weird, anyways. I don't know what the fuck the metaverse is. It's creepy, but
I think what did I hear about this? I heard what's the Gabe Newell guy who owns Valve, right?
Yeah, the patron saint of video games, apparently.
That's right.
Jesus.
He said he watched the video that Mark Zuckerberg talked about, and he's like, Blizzard did this 15 years ago. They made World of Warcraft. It's a metaverse. That's what it is. It's an MMO.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
What? Yeah,
that's it. That's the last thing.
All right. Well, Kotaku, good show. I don't know. It seems like they get more upset about things that don't really require that much anger or whatever. But you got anything for me, Mike? Or
oh yeah, I got some fun things we can look at real quick.
Oh shit.
Let's see.
We're coming up on 2 hours and 40 minutes, by the way.
Good shit.
Yeah, you guys, thanks for sticking around. I hope you're enjoying the show.
So, did you? We got a couple things, not to go right into it, but most interesting video or article we've seen this week. Did you find one for yourself?
No.
Okay. Well, I have a video. We're not gonna look at it or anything like that, but we can drop a link to it.
Okay.
Because it is over an hour long.
Oh,
so we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Funny things I've seen this week on on Steam's front page, I had no idea what the fuck was going on, but I guess there was a new expansion for Star Trek Online.
Ooh.
And on the front cover, I see Wesley Crusher, or, you know, the actor who plays him, on, like, the main thing, and I look at the trailer. Not only is Wesley Crusher back, but he's evil, and he's Emperor Crusher. So, yep. That's what Star Trek Online's all about right now.
Awesome. That's what I want to see.
Wesley Crusher, okay. Emperor Crusher. He's in this is the evil universe, right?
Oh, where everyone's got a goatee. The goatee
right,
universe.
Basically, yeah. Okay. He's got a goatee. And he's trying to take it over. I watched the cutscenes of this because it's funny. Like, it's a whole big update for Star Trek Online, but all cutscenes, if you watch that video, is 5 minutes long. So you can easily sit through and watch this expansion packs cutscene. In the evil universe, I think, what was it? What's the big like thing in like Star Trek where they what's the name of the satellite that they launched outside of our solar system called? Is it called the Voyager, right? Yeah. Well, in the evil universe, it's called the Conqueror. So Wesley Crusher needs to find, you know, the assimilated like super conqueror satellite so he can become a god and, you know, rule the universe. He'll rule all timelines if he takes control of this thing, and that's, I guess, is your role as a Starfleet command, is to stop him from doing that.
It's just a record player.
Yeah.
That's what the machine is. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Transformers. You know, like, they love that thing. Okay.
What do you got for me?
And one other thing, I'd have to look it up real quick here, is I discovered this week after a friend sent it to me, there is a fan wiki about people organizing and making video game character wrestling promotions. And I think this is cool as fuck.
Excuse me?
So just a real quick tidbit, I'm a big wrestling fan. I watch wrestling every week. And finding out about this, so there was another friend sending me a link about Isaac Clarke. I was like, okay, he sends me an article about Isaac Clarke here. I was like, what the fuck is this? I know about Isaac Clarke. He's for a main character of Dead Space. And he's like, nah, this is a wrestling wiki, dude. I was like, what? So, Isaac Clarke is apparently a part of the Apex Caliber Wrestling promotion, the ACW. And who else is a part of the Apex Caliber Wrestling? Well, let's look at the roster. We got male wrestlers here. We got Ash Ketchum from Pokemon.
The man.
He's on the opposite end of the female roster in the ACW. Misty's there.
Fair enough.
So, you know, great mixed gender tag team potential.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They got Atem from Yu-Gi-Oh! Crash Bandicoot.
Wait, stop. Who the hell's that? Is that not Grandpa? I don't know. Grandpa and Pegasus.
I don't know who Atem is.
That's fine.
I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't know. Me neither. Keep moving.
Let's see. There's a lot of OCs here, which is weird. I don't know who's putting their OCs in this. Daniel Kent. No, that's an OC. Dante's in this promo. That's pretty good. That's a good wrestler.
Yeah, he's gonna murder everybody with his.
He's got a gun.
He's got a lot of guns. He's got a fucking guitar that shoots bats. Keep going.
Let's see. We got a good ones here. Merrick Ishtar, another Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Sure.
Nero. Devil May Cry.
Oh, okay.
So they got Devil May Cry. They got Nathan Drake. That's a good get.
Oh, dude.
Nathan Drake, he breaks people's necks, dude.
He breaks people's necks, and wistfully dodges bullets. It's incredible.
He's got a mean arm drag. You know?
Did you hear about that? It was a couple years back where the producer, the director of Uncharted was saying that like when you're getting hit in the game, you're not actually getting hit. That it's your
right,
like
it's
luck like decreasing.
Right. And once your luck's out, you're dead.
Then you're shot.
It's a really funny cop out. I like it a lot.
It's beautiful.
Oh shit! They got Spider-Man.
Oh.
Spider-Man's in this promotion, dude. That's big.
V-Star is live reporting for us. He's confirmed that Atem is the pharaoh that Yugi transforms into. This is confirmed.
Gotcha.
He fucking what?
That sounds powerful. That sounds like a really good wrestler.
Yeah,
I like it.
Sure.
And if you can just be a god and also be from Yu-Gi-Oh, I mean, you got style.
You got angles. Tell you that.
You got some grace.
You got eyeliner, like you've never seen before.
A lot of hair product.
Some belts, belt buckles.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And Yugi. And Virgil. Yeah, so everyone from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everyone from
Why? Sure. Grandpa's not in there?
I don't know. Maybe he's the manager. I don't know.
This is really important to me that Grandpa's the most important person to be in Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean, he's a good part of the origin story.
Dude, Grandpa on the fucking TV is my favorite thing ever.
He's just in the pilot.
But he's like that's like the whole like first. I mean, again, I don't remember this. I was never into Yu-Gi-Oh! I just saw it in passing, like on TV.
Yeah.
But just the idea, like, I gotta save my grandpa from the TV. And I gotta go to this island to have a card game tournament. It was just so ridiculous. It makes my day.
Yeah.
Thinking about
so
that.
And the female roster is pretty much all the girls from Yu-Gi-Oh, Naruto. They got Hinata.
Sure.
In there, Coco Bandicoot.
Who the fuck is Coco?
iCarly's. I don't know why. I don't even know really what iCarly is, but iCarly's in this wrestling promotion.
What are you talking about? Right?
I don't know. I have no fucking clue, dude. No, it's just I'm in my 30s here. I have no fucking.
I assume
shit.
It has an. Is it a lowercase I?
Yeah.
There must be an application for my phone.
iCarly. I think it's a show, isn't it?
I don't fucking. Yeah, I think it's a show.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. It's
TV show. iCarly. Alright. Anyways. So yeah, if you want to check that out, there's FWM, fictional wrestling multiverse wiki. Fucking go wild, have fun,
go crazy, enjoy.
All right, so that's my funny gets from this week. For most interesting video that I've seen, which I just shit I got recommended to me on YouTube, which I thought was wild, and I had to watch it or listen to it passively because it's an hour long.
Yeah.
Shipwrecked on an island with no way home.
Okay. I'm in.
And this is an hour long, and this is real. Okay. So like the way this is fully documented, this is by Briggsy Sport Fishing. So these guys are professional fishermen.
Okay.
They go around with GoPros on their heads as they're fishing, they're off the coast of Australia on some other just the desert islands and they have a coast and shit, I guess.
Yeah.
There's like 4 of them, right? And the video starts where it's like stormy and like it's in the morning and like the guys are turning on their cameras and shit. So like the guy's just like, so I just woke up this morning. This guy starts. Our buddy here is yelling, "The boat is capsized. The boat is upside down." And like, oh fuck! And they wake up and it's really stormy out, like on the beach because I guess they were camping and fishing off the island, right? And and there, lo and behold, they have this 25-foot boat that is just upside down.
Jeez.
In like anchor, only one anchor. I think that's how they fucked up somehow. They didn't double anchor or something.
Come on.
And
Amateur
this thing
hour? What is this?
This thing got smacked up against rocks and flipped. Okay, during this rough weather they were experiencing, and it's a story like where they have to figure how the fuck to get help. And they're just like the main guy's documenting all of it. And at one point, there early on in the video, they go out to the boat to go get flares and find a beacon that's on the boat that they can use to call emergency help and everything like that. But they go in that, and the boat is so far out in the water, and like this is something I have to explain, that I am very thalassophobic. As far as like that is one of my biggest fears.
You have to
just
explain what that means. No, nobody knows.
Thalassophobia is the fear of the ocean, and just being like, to me, the biggest fear is just being out in the middle of the ocean. You can't see land, and if you look underwater, you can't see the ground. It is just ocean and pitch darkness below you. That is the scariest thing.
Hey, what are we playing Stranded Deep, bro? Come on.
You wanted me to play that.
I did.
And I was like, bro, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm already sweating in this fucking DM. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you're gonna have to be the one in the water, because if I go in the water, if I fall in, I'm logging out, dude. Like, I'm turning the game off. It's so bad for me. So, like, legit, I'm watching this video.
Wait, before you get to it, you said that your favorite Monster Hunters start with 3. Aren't you
where you're underwater.
You're fighting the monsters underwater, like.
Yeah, you don't really have to, and it did freak me out a little bit. But like, it's the camera's so zoomed out, everything's so bright. You're really just kind of like floating in space. It's not really water.
So space doesn't freak you out. The infinite darkness.
Space does freak me out. That's terrifying, man. I was gonna say, like, the only thing more terrifying than being lost at sea with no like sight of home or like any salvation is being lost in space. Like, it's so impractical, and so like, like I would never go to space, right? Unless
I don't know. Never say never, Mike. Okay, anything's possible.
Oh boy.
I hate when people say that shit. Never say never. I can say never. Whatever the fuck I want. God damn it. Anyways.
I just know, man. Just fuck off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the last so yeah, to the video, there's a point where they go out to the boat, and the boat is far enough out in the water where every time they dip underwater with their GoPros, you cannot see the bottom. And anytime he's dipping out up above the water, because like they're in Australia area, dude.
It's full of sharks.
Place is notorious for fucking sharks, the big ones, like the great white. Okay, and like the main guy is telling him, okay, swim like this. It's less sharky. Okay, it's less sharky when you do this. These are Aussies, or the main guy is Aussie. So like, imagine that accent. I'm not gonna do it.
I can't.
So, and he's real chill about it too. Like, he's just less sharky, mate. Just fucking just be like this, like, and like just go and swim out to this fucking boat. And like, dude, every time he dipped his head underwater, I had to look away, because it's just like just pure darkness, and like just all you see is just like the abyss and that water hue and everything. Ugh, terrifying.
But
yeah, so like he managed to get under the boat and get inside some of the cabins and get the necessities out. And they used the anchor rope to go back to the island, and easily and faster. And then it just progresses. Like, they had enough food for 3 days.
Wow.
The first day, 2 of them, including the main guy, they went around the island hoping there was a yacht somewhere docked around the other side of that. There luckily was, like, there was a dual catamaran
nice
type boat just docked off the coast, but like it was real stormy out still, like it was raining, miserable, like so like they try to get their attention. They have like a horn that they found like for emergencies inside the boat, and they use it, and that's like actually got this guy's attention. This guy puts his way back out to the coast in his little like outboard, little dinghy, and he gets the guy is salt of the earth and really nice to them. He takes them back to their boat, says they can use their radio to call in. But later on, it's like they're worried about, because it was the Sprigsies guy, and he's really chill, and he's like, so our boat capsized, but I don't want it to be like a big deal. We have no way home or anything. Like, if I could send some help out, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Just don't trouble yourself for nothing. We're stranded out here.
I'm gonna starve. But hey,
just cool. Whatever, man. Like, it's whatever. So, like, as they were 4 days in, waiting for help, they were like, maybe he was a little too chill. Maybe he was a little too chill about this, because, like, one of the coolest parts about it is that since they are professional fishermen, they have the rods with them.
Right.
They went fishing and caught some. The first guy to hook a fish caught like a fucking 4-foot like tuna or some shit like that. I don't know what kind of fish it was. The thing was fucking huge, and these guys were fishing on rocks, like big rocks where the waves are crashing up against it and shit. And you see this guy hook this fish, and he puts his whole weight back into it. And he's just like, balancing off the pure weight of the rod. And like, just like, these guys are fucking cool, man. Like, these guys know what the fuck they're doing. And it was just really cool to see. They caught this fish, but, way too big, so they let it go. They caught some smaller ones. Yeah. They caught some smaller ones, and they had a good dinner that night, because they got some really good fish.
Did they have knives on them? Like, could have just.
Yeah. They had fishing gear and everything.
I guess it would be like
they were out fishing, right?
Too much to cook, right? Wow, you can use bait or anyways. Whatever.
Yeah, they did catch bait as well. So
that's cool.
They didn't show it, but they talked about it. But yeah, they were there, and they had a little like cooker. They cooked some fish, fried up some fish, and rice. They had some rice with them. So time goes on. One of the guys, the owner of the boat, which I forgot to mention, is they showed the owner of the boat as he, like, the first day, as he's watching his ship or his boat upside down. And this man looks as if his soul was just sucked out of his body, because he's just like, fuck, dude.
My just
like $250,000 boat, just upside down, fucking banging up against rocks. And he's just like, fuck. This rough. Man is like, has just been castrated. I felt for it. Like, it's hard not to feel for him, but especially that look on his face. But like later on, while he was prepping and everything, he had stepped on something barefoot and was getting infected.
Oh no!
So like they had to they used lime as a disinfectant and everything like that. And like some of the guys from the yacht, the catamaran, had helped them out as well with some disinfectant stuff like that. Yeah, so very lucky. They showed it like as it was getting bad, and then later on in the video they showed it getting better, and all that stuff was great. Yeah. So also so they got word that one of their girlfriends had commissioned a helicopter to come pick them up, just a private helicopter. Like it's like everyone's like worried sick about this. We're getting you the fuck out because we can. Like, everyone's pulling together here, getting this helicopter ride organized. Meanwhile, the guys are like, man. Like, literally, when they heard about that they're getting a helicopter ride, they thought it was optional. And they're like, I don't know, guys, that sounds really expensive. You guys want to wait for Coast Guard? Like, I don't know. I think we can stay here. You don't have to pay for a helicopter. It's like, no, everyone's worried sick about your health. Please take the helicopter ride. It is non-negotiable. So the helicopter shows up, which is really cool. It lands right there on the beach. Helicopter shuts off. The guy who gets out is also Ozzy, super fucking chill. He's like, hey guys, you need a ride? Yeah. And then the only other tidbit is that you learn from that trip is they had their fishing rods where they had like fucking like plastic like fucking tubes that they put them in like actual like professional grade shit. And that's when they dropped the info that these rods cost like $10,000.
Oh my god! What?
$10,000 rods. It's like, hey man, and like they tried to fit, like you're wondering, like, because they don't explain it right away, and it's like, fuck, we can't get this in the helicopter. Fuck,
Jesus Christ!
And, like you can't fit the tubes in the helicopter, and then they're like, oh shit, we're gonna leave it on the coast here for the yacht guy to come up and pick it up and bring it back to the shore for us, which they worked out off camera. Yeah. And he's like, could you just like please, because these things cost like $10,000. Like, holy fuck! I see why you're fucking wanting that on the helicopter. Like, yeah, dude. Like, I the first video I've ever seen of this guy, but like, holy fuck! Like, that's a whole nother world, man.
But
like,
is it helping you get past your fears?
No, absolutely not.
All right, cool. Well, make sure you put the link to that video in the
I'll link it
in the Discord. We have an area for the forums for the podcast, so we'll put all our links there so you guys can check that stuff out. That sounds crazy.
It's a great video. I think it's just a very interesting story.
Yeah.
And the way it's captured is interesting because it's all from GoPro headcam.
Yeah. Cool.
Just these professional fishermen trying to figure shit out as best they can while being too chill.
Apparently, Egg says that's good old Australia. We actually got another question from Longbeak. That asked, whose idea was this? But he asked that like an hour ago, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like the podcast? It was Mike's idea. I blame him. This is your fault. Yeah. He was like, sure. Let's record this and give it to the world. I said, okay, fine, fuck.
Let's talk.
Let's
talk about it.
That's what you want. Talk about it. By the way, do you see the? Do you have the stream up?
I see the group.
You see our guest. Our guest of honor.
He's related to Yugi.
Yeah, I don't see the resemblance at all. Not at all. But boy, that cranium. Good lord, his eyes are like a fourth of his face. It's horrific. Yeah. Okay. I think that about wraps it up. I don't know if you are still down to play some for a little bit. Treat the dude. We
could try. Yeah.
We could do a little bit of that. What was the game we were gonna play? Shit, I forgot the name of it.
Escape room.
Escape room. We're gonna play escape room for a little bit. But I think a little break is in order.
Yeah.
I need to get some coffee. So yeah. I'll I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I guess I'm just gonna keep the music going. Mike, you should probably mute yourself so that it doesn't pick up. But anyways, everybody, thanks for watching so far. It's been a really fun first episode. I can't believe we went 3 hours. We thought we were gonna go 1, but
well, 1 was the minimum. We knew we were gonna chat. But talk.
This is how it goes normally. This is what I was talking about. This shit gets like, we get tired after, like, whew, just fucking yapping. But yeah, next week we'll be back again. I think we'll be doing it probably Sunday as well, same time. Join the Discord if you want to get updates on that and all our other stuff. We're going to take, what do you want, 5-10 minutes? What do you think? What do you think's good?
Good. 5 minutes. 5 minutes? 10 minutes, or I'll just text me when you're back.
Yeah, I'll text you when I'm back. Yes, V-Star, you are allowed to. You may use the bathroom. Thanks for asking.
Yes.
We'll be back. We'll be back in a little bit. I'll text you. We can just talk through text. I'm going to keep the music playing, and we'll be back with some video games.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for watching, and don't leave. Okay. All right. Mute yourself, Mike. God damn it.